Hey there, you're listening to You Still Going On About That with Rob Israel and Joseph K. You can find us anywhere you could download podcasts. You could also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at YSGOAT. Thanks for listening. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
All right, Joseph, what are we going to talk about this week?
We're going to talk about two things. Briefly, New Hampshire primary.
Just for a little bit.
Right. And then Truman Show. We're going to talk about Truman Show.
What is that?
It is, the Truman Show is a movie, a Peter Weir movie, came out in 1998, starring Jim Carrey and Laura Linney.
Well, alrighty there.
Right? It's a Jim Carrey movie.
You mean star of Once Bitten?
Right, star of
Carrey.
Once Bitten. What was the guy he played on In Living Color? The fireman?
Fire Marshal Bill.
Fire Marshal Bill, yes. I've recently begun reconsidering Jim Carrey because I've always disliked him.
Oh, really?
I
never hated him, but there's things about him that I could see would bother people.
Yeah, I guess dislike. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't dislike him. I just never cared for his performances. I always thought they were not I don't know what I thought.
Alrighty there.
Yeah,
alrighty there.
Right. So, but then it's here's what it's like. It's like Beyonce. I used to say I hated all of Beyonce's music. And then my wife would be like, well, you like Halo, right? And I'd be like, well, of course I like Halo. And then she'd well, you like this song by Beyonce? And I'd be, well, I like that one too. And she'd like, well, you like Single Ladies. And I was like, well, of course, I love that one. And then I was like, son of a bitch, I think I like Beyonce. I didn't realize I liked Beyonce.
You like everything about her except her.
Right. But, and I think it's the same with Jim Carrey. Because, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
Great. The Majestic, kind of cool.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But man, The Truman Show is great. It's a great movie.
Yeah, Truman Show was a change in his career. Before we get into The Truman Show, the movie about a reality show that, I don't know, we'll get into that.
Right.
Let's talk about a never-ending reality show that is the Donald Trump presidency.
Yes.
Our own Trump show nightmare.
Woof.
And the quest to get rid of him with the Democratic primary.
Yes. It's like the Highlander tournament, but with Democrats.
Right.
Yeah.
And then a plutocrat Republican that's trying to steal the election from them.
Right. Are you talking about Bloomberg?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
did you see those ads that have been going around with Obama in a Bloomberg ad?
Oh, yeah.
That is so deceiving.
Right. Well,
has he approved those ads?
No.
He could put a stop to them if he wanted to.
I don't know. You can...
It's incredibly deceiving.
It's very deceiving.
That ad is super deceiving. That should be regardless of whatever you think of Mike Bloomberg. Yeah. That ad is so deceiving.
It is.
It's it frames Obama as giving him a full-on endorsement.
I've talked to a number of people, all of whom think that Obama has endorsed Bloomberg. Right? Straight up.
If you watch that ad,
yeah.
And it's being aimed at Nevada and South Carolina.
Right. Well, and these are smart people. These aren't casual, skimming through Facebook and just nodding and accepting everything. These are reasonably smart folk that are looking at things and they're like, oh yeah, clearly Obama has endorsed Bloomberg. I guess Bloomberg's going to be...
Even if you're not heavily into politics or you are heavily into politics, if you saw that ad, you would think Obama endorsed Bloomberg. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Right.
And I think that is incredibly deceiving.
It is. And
I'm surprised that has not gotten more comments outside of some tweets and me and you.
It is. I'll tell you. I heard here's the couple things I've heard about Bloomberg that I agree with, and the first is that he is running the ads that Democrats want to see.
I just wish he wasn't in the ad.
Right, exactly. And you've said that yourself.
Yeah.
And I heard that on my favorite liberal talk show, The Morning Joe.
Super left-leaning Morning Joe.
But I've heard that in a number of different places, and a lot of people are saying, look, Democrats want to see these ads. This is like red meat for the Democrats. They're the ads they want other candidates to be running.
They can't waste the money to do that because they're not billionaires.
The second thing I've heard is that Bloomberg has the money to run these ads, But even more importantly, he has the money to research these ads.
Oh
to
yeah,
see what's
they're
effective.
calling him micro targeting.
Yeah.
Micro. Like he literally can go into tiny areas and just bomb. He could put out like 1,000 ads.
I do some of that at my day job. Is like you buy a banner ad on a website that's like dirt cheap, and let's just say we're doing a political ad, and you're like, candidate A loves puppies, and then you run another banner ad. Candidate A
Loves kittens.
Loves kittens, and another one. Candidate
I'm
A.
Michael Bloomberg, and I love dogs.
Well, and then you
shaking that dog's face.
and then you figure out
Try to
which
see
ones
that's so
click.
fat.
Yeah, well,
Ow.
you figure out which ones
I don't
click,
like
and then
these
that's what you go with.
Yeah.
So he's got the money.
It's just unfortunate that he was a authoritative Republican mayor for 12 years.
Right. Well,
and I just think it's kind of fucked up because all right, so we'll get into New Hampshire real quick. So let's see. I saw I paid attention to it anyway, but according to the news, big things happened that night.
Yeah.
Amy Klobuchar came in third place.
They call it the Klobu charge.
Yeah, Klobuchar. Right? Is that what happens?
No, it's
you ever accidentally take a Klobuchar in your pants?
No.
It really sucks.
Yes, right.
It's like you think you fart and you're like, you think it's okay. Then you feel a little wetness. And you're like,
right.
Oh crap! I just made a Klobuchar.
Exactly.
I just Klobuchar in my pants.
Right.
It sucks.
It's
It's
Clover
called,
in time.
What?
Clover in time.
Yeah. I was going to say Clover Kai.
Oh,
like Clover Kai.
Oh yeah. No.
And then and Pete Buttigieg came in a strong second.
Yeah.
I don't know what came in first place though.
Yeah. Well,
it's like a mystery.
I hear Bernie trails in first place.
Trails in a distant first place. He's really just far away in first place.
Well, it's funny. I joked around last night. I sent you the text of a tweet. Basically saying like tomorrow's narrative is going to be Buttigieg and Klobuchar tie for second while Bernie trails in first. But then the Washington Post headlines this morning.
Are you shocked at the Washington Post headline? Again, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Mm. That's right. That's a problem right there.
Well,
it's a big problem right there.
It is. I like the Post, but that is a problem.
And when they put out a thing recently that said people aren't excited about about the primaries. I'm like,
you got to be kidding me!
Get the fuck out of here! This is like such a devious little.
It's almost like voter suppression. Or
something.
It
is. All of it is voter suppression. What do you think Mike Bloomberg's doing? That's voter suppression.
Yeah.
We are not. He didn't go through the I'll give Trump this at least. At least when he started running for president, he didn't just come in January.
Right, that's true.
Of 2016. He was in there in the early summer when he came down his escalator from Mount.
He was an early birther. Yeah.
He was an early birther. Yep. He definitely was an early birther.
Staked out his birther claim.
Yep. He, when he wanted to build that wall and get Mexico to pay for it. I've seen all these people it's a lot of these never Trumpers that are trying to push Bloomberg really hard. Of course they are.
Right.
It's why don't you get Bloomberg to run a primary against Trump?
Yeah.
I wish he did that.
Right. Because look, if my options were any Democrat versus Bloomberg, I'd of course vote for the Democrat. But if Bloomberg won, I would just be sad and disappointed. I wouldn't be like, oh, it's Trump.
What?
If we had a Democrat running versus Bloomberg, I would of course vote for the Democrat.
Yeah.
But if Bloomberg won, I wouldn't be like, this is the end of the world. I would be like,
I wouldn't be happy about it.
I wouldn't be
I'm
happy.
Not happy about. I'm sorry. I'm not happy if any Republican wins.
No, of course not. But
and it's nothing. Sorry, Republicans. It's just you got a bad track record.
Yeah. Right.
You just gotta do.
It's an optics thing.
It's a history, and So another thing with Bloomberg, like I said, I don't understand how any Democrats can get behind him. Again, if he ends up being the nominee going against Trump, I hate being one of those people who says, I'm going to hold my nose. I never felt like I've been in that position. Every time I voted for a candidate, usually, I vote Democrat or whatever, I never felt like I had to hold my nose.
Right.
This one, I would definitely feel like I have to hold my nose because I
To vote
know
for
the
him,
history.
right.
I lived in New York City
when
he was mayor. I remember going to the protests at the GOP convention in 2004 and how he treated people. He had
free speech zones.
Well, no, he had people locked up in bus stations where they were like exposed to like chemical burns and all these things. He kept them locked up in there for days.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't let people protest. We wanted to go into the park and he wouldn't let us. He was like, and it was like all kinds of shit. I remember him in the MTA strike, anti-union. People are making false memories about him. Like, no, he was not on the side of the workers.
No.
He helped feed... Because, the thing was, everyone hated the MTA strike because...
Oh, it shut down the city.
Yeah, so and all our jobs were like, no, you can't. You have to come in or you're going to lose... You're not going to get paid. It was a nightmare. I remember it took me like 3 hours to get to work. It was, like, what would normally take me like 20 minutes, 25 minutes with a subway ride ended up being like... It was a nightmare. It's like, why even come in?
Yeah.
And then we ended up taking like a day or two off because we were just like, fuck this. It's not worth it. Like, don't pay us. I mean, like, our sanity. But I was on the side of the workers because I knew that when if they got their negotiations, that benefits everyone.
It does,
and it feeds into other unions. But Mike Bloomberg fed into that, attacking them and making us want to attack the MTA too. And thinking that they were rats and that they
right.
And then there's like some other things that he did. I mean, like I remember I was in Astoria and like we had a blackout just in Astoria and it lasted weeks. Like we were fine. We got ours here for a couple of days, but there were people who didn't have it. And he came into Astoria, Queens, and he was such a douchebag. He was totally on the side of I forgot the name of the energy company and
Con Ed
Con Ed, and it's just like a monopoly, just like the MTA. He's not strong on civil liberties.
No. What were you going to say about Carville?
James Carville was going around on TV. He's been popping up his little lizard head.
Yes.
And, he's got that accent, talks like this.
Right.
It's like he's like a catfish wrangler.
Now, I feel bad talking bad about James Carville because I've long been a fan of Cookie Puss and Fudgy the
you're talking about
Fudgy the Whale.
Oh, no. You're thinking of Carville ice cream?
They're not the same?
No. James Carville
right.
is not James Carville.
So James Carville wasn't the creator of Cookie Puss?
No. He had nothing to do with Cookie Puss. He was definitely the creator of the Clintons.
Oh, that Cookie Puss.
Yeah.
Okay. Different Cookie Puss.
No, my favorite thing about James Carville.
Okay, right.
Which is funny, it's the same name actually,
yes.
except for the I.
Yes.
Carville, as I always loved this, he was like the voice man, the pitch man for the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like someone who should never been.
No.
He's like, come on down to Carville ice cream and come pick up a Cookie Puss.
Fudgy the Whale.
Get yourself a Fudgy the Whale and get yourself a Cookie Puss. This is YouTube Carville ice cream. I'm probably exaggerating it just a little bit, but I think I'm getting it just right.
Yeah.
Your kids love ice cream. You'll love it. Come down, Carville. Get yourself a Cookie Puss. It's totally that just like you feel like the salivary glands coming down and hear that voice. You're like, I need ice cream. I crave ice cream now.
Yeah.
James Carville,
different person. Political strategist from Louisiana.
Yeah, and he's married to
a Raging Cajun.
But he's the Democrat. It's part of a two-headed beast.
Yes.
They have the same two heads that share the same body.
Right. It's like a
one side works for the Republicans, the other side supposedly works for the Democrats.
Right.
And they made millions doing it. And
as predicted in the Book of Revelation.
Right. I mean, listen, I don't hate the guy, but I kind of I know what he is.
Yeah.
I don't. I know. I feel like some of it is he's like talks fast and he knows how to play a role. He's like a flim flam guy, and he's been popping up on TV, basically trying we gotta get everybody together. We gotta we got Trump here. We gotta everybody's getting some common sense here.
Trump in River City.
Yeah, and he's basically trying to attack Bernie.
Yes.
And it's like when they interview him, he shows up wearing jeans and a hoodie.
Right.
And no,
talking about monorails.
Yeah. No, but like, he's trying to act like an everyman.
Yeah.
And like, come on, gotta get our grit going, and gotta get on that gum, get your gum chin, get your shovel, pull yourself out of your bootstraps, and then we gotta go get that trunk, whatever. And it sounds like, it's some fucking like what's that, Bart, the circus.
Oh yeah, Carnival Barker.
It's Carney Barker.
Yeah,
and with the accent like just up, turned up to 11. And just these pictures leaked online of his house today.
Yeah,
it was like in a 4-story mansion.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, it's like,
right.
James Carville's just like you.
Yeah,
but kind of not.
Where do you boil your crawdaddies in that mansion?
Yeah, do you have a crawdaddy? He has a crawdaddy room.
Yes,
room for my crawdaddies and my catfish. It's just like he just pops his head up, and Chris Matthews interviews him, or Joe Scarborough, and it's and it's just like I think they just think people are dumb. Yeah, and some are. I mean.
No, I agree.
That's undeniable.
My favorite James Carville quote from back in the Clinton era was like, he said that some people, like, if your enemy is drowning, you throw him a life preserver. Right. Well, he said if your enemy is drowning, you throw him an anchor. And I thought that was like a really good quote. That's what you should do. I think
he's effective, but I don't like what he's doing.
No, I agree.
His shtick is hollow. It's hollow.
It's used up. Yeah.
I mean, does he even do anything anymore?
I don't know.
I think he does like stuff. I think he honestly,
I
think he does like stuff outside the country.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Probably helping like a dictator get up.
Yeah.
So. What's that name? That guy's name? Guaido?
Right. I know what you're talking about.
The State of the Union the other week.
Oh, yeah.
The weirdest part of that whole night was when Trump had the guy from Venezuela come out.
Right.
Who's not even the president. Some guy who's
an opposition leader.
Opposition leader who's basically declaring that he's president.
It's so crazy.
It's like, I think like Bernie Sanders should go to like Greece and
just pick a random person.
We treat it, it's the president of the United States.
This is Anastasia, the princess that had gone missing 80 years ago.
Anastasia.
She's now ruler of... Yeah, she's like...
Well, I mean, like, it's such a bizarre thing, and everyone's like getting up clapping. I don't know.
All right. Well, here's one argument that makes sense to me that I don't like, but that I can buy, is that Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar are essentially the same candidate. And if they together...
They're really not. But
I know, but like, I'm just saying, like, this is an argument that I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound stupid. But like, if they combined for 45% of the vote, which they did, and Bernie won with only 30%, if one of them were to exit the race, you wonder... what would it have looked like? Would Mayor Pete have beat Bernie? Would Amy Klobuchar have beat Bernie?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I agree.
I don't think
so either.
I don't think Pete would get 42% of the vote.
No.
I don't think. And it's fucked up. Again, it is voter, like you said, it's voter suppression. The way right now, in any normal primary, if you had a candidate win the first two primaries, historically,
right.
They usually take the primary. They usually win. Like, if you come in, if you win, you got a guy who wins both dates, and the media he'd be storming the media. Yeah. But there's like he's showing up on things, but it's pretty much like a blackout. MSNBC has been just nonstop attacking him. Chris Matthews making these bizarre saying he's going to be killed in Central Park. Chuck Todd referred to Bernie supporters as brown shirts.
Yeah, Chuck Todd
Nazis.
Terrible.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders lost family in the Holocaust. That's like super fucked up.
He was early on in the civil rights movement. Bernie's got
fun. Again, it's like Bernie bro bullshit. I'm so sick of it. I was sick of it in 2016, but now I'm even more sick of it because it's like. And then you know what? I got a new one. Bloomy Bros. I'm gonna start. I want to start hashtag Bloomy Bros.
Yeah.
Because there was a video that came out. It was a woman. It was a Bloomberg event. and a woman got on stage and basically started suppressing the vote, and people were booing her, throwing things at her, and I'm like, oh wow, that seems like a real bloomy bro tactic. It's the stuff that they try to accuse, Bernie supporters of.
Well, I will say, like, I've seen, and I'm not gonna like analyze them or evaluate them. I've seen abrasive Bernie supporters, but I've seen abrasive supporters of every candidate.
Yeah.
I was on Facebook today, and Gwen Graham, who I voted for in a Florida election a while ago, was Bob Graham's daughter.
Yeah.
She's a big Joe Biden supporter, and she's
How's that working out?
Right. Well, she said blah blah, and I commented on the page. I was like, look, if Joe's the nominee, I'll be glad to support him. But I'm voting for a revolution, Bernie 2020. Yeah. And then like 2 or 3 Biden supporters kind of jumped on me and were like, Bernie's trash, blah, blah. Look, there's abrasive supporters everywhere.
Yeah.
They just are. So are there Bernie bros, like in the pejorative sense? Yeah, there are. There's some rough ones.
But you could say that about anyone.
Anyone.
There's bloomy bros.
Right. There's Clobunards.
Yep. Klobuchards.
Yes.
Buta bros?
I don't know. I saw a great T-shirt today on I think it was Reddit. Someone had a picture of Mayor Pete standing next to Ted Cruz, and it said Mayo Pete, like mayonnaise. Mayo Pete, Democrat Ted Cruz. Like it's the it was like saying he's the Democrats' version of Ted Cruz.
Oh, I wouldn't insult Mayor Pete like that.
No, he's fine.
Ted Cruz is a. What's that? The primordial ooze?
Yeah.
That took the shape of a man.
He's like pond scum.
He really is. He literally is a bag of shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... He is like... Yeah, he's a pud.
He's Ted Cruz.
Yeah. And Ted Cruz. But like, okay, so Yang dropped out.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked. I didn't think he would drop out just yet.
Right.
But... he dropped out. I guess, his debate performance wasn't that great. And they were like ignoring him. And
I love the idea of universal basic income. I agree with you that it's got significant implementation
Well, the
issues.
problem is, again, it's like, what do you do to prevent landlords from jacking up the rent $500, if not $1,000 a month? You have to put in all these protection services now. It's not that easy. Just say, okay, everybody gets $1,000 a month because we're a predatory society, and people make money off of literally everything we do is predatory, and they'll find ways.
Right.
People will find ways to make money. Oh, well, we offer a service now that does this.
Right.
Oh, well, we offer everyone you deal with.
Don't want to wait till the 1st to get your 1,000? We'll give it to you on the 25th at 12% interest. That's what would happen. Maybe,
well, that's one example, but I mean, just like people will find a way to charge you for things.
Maybe you get $1,000 and a pitchfork and a torch. So when people start that shit, you can storm their.
It just doesn't. There's so much. We're just not there as a society.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that people can't even understand the concept of Medicare for all. Like one of the big scam things going on now, especially leading to Nevada, is this Culinary Union.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're like. There was these, like, scare tactics, supposedly flyers put up. Who knows, it's by the union or whatever. Basically scaring union workers. Culinary is like, the biggest union of... It's probably one of the biggest in the country.
Right.
And basically saying, like, Bernie's going to take your health care.
Wow.
And what's amazing about it is, like, well, okay, hold on. Yeah, I guess he will, but you're going to have health care.
Right.
You're going to have... And now your union, instead of having to negotiate for health care...
Right.
Because they say, like, basically an employer or whatever basically has to pay, like, $15,000 to $20,000 a year to give you, like, health care. And dental if they give it to you. Or vision. But if they're not giving you that, well, that's money that could either... Now your union can say, okay, well, we can negotiate to get a bigger raise for you every year. Or a retirement plan.
Yeah.
An actual pension plan.
Right.
Like, it opens the door for so many things. So to say, and then Mayor Pete, tweeted some bullshit, basically saying
I saw that, yeah.
And it's again, it's like, this is why he sucks.
Right.
Because he should know that is complete horseshit. That Bernie is not an attack on unions.
Right.
It would strengthen unions.
It would. like, look, I don't know. I've thought a lot about this, and I remember very early in the primary, I was debating between Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, and then I pretty quickly shifted my support to Elizabeth Warren, and then over the last, I don't know, month or so, I've gone full into Bernie, and that's where I stand now.
I kind of been back and forth between, in the beginning, it was like, part of me was like, ooh, I like Kamala, but that, like, dropped.
Right.
And then I liked the Warren a lot, and I liked the Bernie. I liked the two of them.
Yeah.
And I was always going between. And I didn't like seeing people attack Warren. It used to really bother me.
Yeah, me too.
Because to me, I felt like they were very similar, but then, then you find out they're really not. And
I
then
still like
she
Warren,
kind of
but...
pivoted a little away. She made the mistake of putting out her Medicare plan.
Yes.
That was a big screw up right there.
Right.
And then, like, the handshake thing was so stupid. I mean, I hate dumb shit like that. That, to me, this dumb stunts, dumb things that, like, debates, to me, should not shape policy.
Right. I agree.
But, if your policy is not that strong, well, then dumb shit like that. So a good example. So I would say she's done.
Well,
I mean, she came in third in Iowa.
Yeah,
third or fourth. What did she come in? I don't think she came in even third.
Yeah,
I think she came. Yeah, she came in. Oh no, I think she did come in third. It was Bernie and Pete. People will argue and say they were even.
Right.
Biden was like fourth or fifth.
The problem with
Klobuchar was fourth.
Yeah, the problem with Warren's problem right now is that the liberals have picked Bernie. That's the answer. Yeah, that's her problem. And Biden's problem is that the moderates have picked Mayor Pete and Klobuchar.
Yeah.
And Mayor Pete and Klobuchar's problem is that they're splitting the moderate vote, and Bernie's got all the progressive vote. So, honestly, I see Bernie as the clear favorite to win the nomination. Now, a lot can happen in the next month or two. But even people like Nate Silver, who was famously wrong during the last election, Nate Silver said, look, this looks like Bernie's going to take the nomination. It just looks that way, just because of the way the numbers work and the way the players on the field.
So let's say Nevada's that's not this Saturday, but next Saturday, right?
Right.
And then I think South Carolina is like a couple days later.
Yeah.
And then after that, Super Tuesday.
Right.
And Super Tuesday is really when Mike Bloomberg comes in.
Yeah. Well, he could do really well there.
Well, he's making ads where he's saying Obama endorsed him.
Well,
he's making the ads that Joe Biden wish he could make.
Yeah,
which is kind of fucked up.
Right.
Because, at least Joe Biden was like a Democrat who was a VP.
Right.
A Democrat, a popular president, and not some...
And Biden's a good guy. I mean, like, here's the thing I don't like about Biden is that I don't want someone who can work with Republicans. I don't want someone who's going to reach across the aisle.
To me, to say that, I have no problem with that if they were a normal party.
Right.
If they were, if you didn't have the people who literally said, we will do everything to stop Obama, we will not work with him at all. It's on record. He has said that multiple times with McConnell. And then you got someone like Joe Biden come in and say, I could work with him. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
You were vice president for 8 years in an administration where the guy refused to work with you.
You were president of the Senate as vice president when the Senate refused to even consider Merrick Garland.
Yeah.
So, you were...
basically center-right judge.
Right.
I mean, they were literally... Merrick Garland, I think, was like a Republican. He wasn't even...
I don't know. But the point is, I don't want someone who's reaching across the aisle unless they're reaching across the aisle with like a joy buzzer or something like that.
It sounds like a nice thing to say.
Sure.
If we lived in normal times.
Right.
If Trump wasn't president, like this isn't Reagan era anymore, or whatever myth we think of things. I think the problem is, people think like, oh, Reagan would hate this. That's bullshit. We live in different times now. We have social media. Things are a little more out there. The administrations cannot hide things like they used to.
Yeah,
you can't hide shit anymore.
No.
You can't. I mean, you go back, Roosevelt, people didn't know he was in a wheelchair. They didn't know that.
That's so crazy. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't know. I found that out. I had a teacher who told me in high school, they're like, no one knew that Roosevelt was in a wheelchair.
No.
And And I was like, what? That's insane. And like, no, they made sure, like, the only people who knew were, like, people who were, like, really into it or, like, really highly educated people or people with actual government. No, the regular, everyday people had no fucking clue.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
He was either always behind a desk or
like
they
a
would
blanket.
propped him up on a podium.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, we live in different times now. Things are more out there. We got a president that tweets every minute.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the most transparent president we've ever had in the worst way possible.
Right. That's like the genies make me a ham sandwich, and the next thing you know, you are a ham sandwich. It's like, I want more transparency in government. No, you don't.
Like when
Not
did
this
you ever
way.
watch Aladdin, the remake?
No.
With Will Smith?
No.
One of the best parts is when he first meets Aladdin, and he tells him, like, you know, you gotta be careful with your wishes.
Right.
Because, you know, if you say, make me a prince, I might just make you a prince. Like, here's a prince.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you have to be very...
super specific.
Specific on how you phrase it. So, like, the
Yes.
ham sandwich, he made...
Right, now you're a ham sandwich. You've got, like, a little olive on a toothpick sticking out of your head.
Out of your fucking brain. Right. Yeah, I mean... And then, like, we'll wrap this up real quick. So, like... I just think it's super fucked up that we got a guy who basically won 2 primaries. He should be treated like the front runner.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he is being treated like the front runner. You see, if you watch any of the mainstream media, all they're doing is talking about fucking Bloomberg. I'm glad that stuff's coming out about him.
Right.
No,
like
I'm glad that audio got out about him where he's literally saying that we need to basically arrest more minorities.
Yeah.
He says that.
That's a tough one, yeah.
My favorite is when Trump attacks him on this recently, and it's just like mind-boggling. It's like, okay, well, it's like, it's really funny. It's like, you ever look in a mirror? It's like you're putting kids in cages. Like,
and Sarah Sanders comes out today and says Bloomberg's going to have trouble because he is mean to women and uses coarse language. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. You gotta be. Were you in a coma the last 5 years?
Don't you remember that footage when Bloomberg's like, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
When you're a star, you can do whatever you want. You could even grab a by the beep. That's how Bloomberg, right? He did that, right?
Yes.
Oh, no, that was Trump.
No, that was Trump.
Well, Sarah Sanders is... Okay, I think to compare... Ted Cruz on the evolutionary scale is above Sarah Sanders.
That's true, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's garbage.
Right.
She is like...
Oh, yeah.
Is she running for governor of Arkansas?
I think she decided against it.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I go out there sometimes, and I don't want to ever go out there. I was talking to the guy, he invites me to like some show sometimes out there, and we talked about it, and he's like, yeah, they would probably vote for her.
Oh, yeah, I think they would.
Just because it's like, you know.
Well, yeah.
So, I was watching the speeches, and like I said, Bernie is to the point. Like, I forgot what he said in the beginning of the speech, was basically like, this is the end of the Trump presidency.
Good.
And he just talked about everything they're going to do.
Right.
It's not about Bernie. It's about us.
Yes.
It's talking about healthcare for all.
Man.
Environment. Stop the end of racism.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he say? I don't know if it was during a speech or it was like an interview, but he basically said that Trump was like a xenophobe, a misogynist.
Right.
And those are his best qualities.
Right. Look, if Bernie says Medicare for all, I'm not even going to hear the rest of what he says.
Okay, so then Klobuchar gives a speech, and she talks about absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
she just talks about herself. She talks about how she's going to defeat Trump. She's going to bring back, bring everybody together and make things normal. And her dad's an alcoholic.
Right.
Just in case you didn't know, her dad was a disgusting drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
And then it's like the most generic, like, it's like the kind of people who put like quotes of movies in the end of their emails.
Yeah.
Like, I put like a quote of Dead Poets Society in the end of my email.
Right.
Because I'm so fucking deep. Or like a Ferris Bueller quote.
Right.
Like
life goes by pretty fast or something like
that. Yeah, that's something like he would put that in the end of his email.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a great GIF someone put out of It's this guy's called The Surfs. They have a show on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're funny. They have some really good videos, but like I don't think he made it, the guy from The Surfs. I think they might have retweeted, but it was that scene from The Simpsons where Burns is getting booed.
Oh, Boo Earns.
Boo Earns.
Yeah.
And they put Pete's face of Boo Earns. And they took the sound off, and so they changed it. What's his name? Chastain? Or what is this husband's name?
I think it's Chastain.
Yeah. So Pete, with the face of Burns, calls Smithers Chastain. And it's really funny, because like, he kind of looks like Smithers.
That's funny.
That's funny. It looks like Smithers. So it's like pretty odd. It was so good.
Well, I think by the next time we talk, we should have a clearer sense. Like I'm
really curious to see what's going to happen in Nevada, because is there another debate?
Well, I don't know, but Nevada's a caucus state, and I hear they're going to have a lot of the same problems as they did.
I honestly am expecting a Bernie loss on this one. It wouldn't shock me. Not just because of all the one, it's a caucus.
Yeah.
So I don't trust the outcome just because, don't expect like a.
Well, I would say like
outcome that night.
Nevada does pretty well for itself, right? Like, if you live in Las Vegas, well, the Culinary Union is a good example. There's a bajillion people that work in those restaurants in casinos. Now, I know that there's more to Nevada's economy than casinos, but like a lot of the people
prostitutes,
hookers,
hookers.
But there's like I
UFO,
agree. Right?
Area 51. Yeah.
Now, remember Art Bell? Did you used to listen to Art Bell?
I know what that is, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down in Pahrump,
Nevada.
No. All right. So yeah, that'll be interesting, and we'll see.
I don't know. I hope he wins.
I could see that being a good state for Biden, or
I think Biden's done. I think people.
We'll see soon.
I think Biden. Honestly, I think, like you said, the people who were voting for Biden, like, I just watch them scrambling. Like I said, I got this one guy that I talked to on Facebook. We go back and forth, and he's like my barometer of like a centrist voter.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like it was Biden all the way, and now it's just like and as the weeks and more debates and showing, and then the Hunter Biden thing and all that stuff, it was just like, oh well, maybe we should look at Pete.
Right.
I think Klobuchar's the one, and then it's like, I don't know about maybe Bloomberg. They're just like, and they're just. I just think Biden's toast. This is what I think. I think Biden will come in at his highest in Nevada. I think he'll come in at like third place. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I bet you he'll come in second or third in South Carolina. I don't think he's going to take South Carolina. I don't think he's going to take any states.
Right.
And I think come South Carolina, if he does not get in the top 3 in South Carolina, he's done.
See, I could see him doing well in Florida. Biden could do well in Florida.
But I mean, if you...
Right, yeah.
At that point, are you going to make... Is Florida in Super Tuesday?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe they all stick around till Super Tuesday, and then they all chip away and go away. Oh, Michael Bennett dropped out.
Yes.
That was sad.
Right, that was.
Somehow Tulsi's still around.
Yeah.
That one's weird. I don't understand that one.
No.
She went on Fox and defended Trump for firing Vindman.
Gravy.
They could impeach him on that.
Yeah.
Right? With the whole Barr thing.
Oh, yeah.
They should.
I saw today Barr has agreed to come before Congress and answer questions. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's really good. And then it's like March 31st. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like a month and a half?
Like, why?
Right. Like,
because until you forget about it. I mean, that's all it is. Because they know people forget about it by that point. Yeah. But Susan Collins said that Trump would learn his lesson.
Yeah, Murkowski was on Twitter today saying she's troubled by recent events. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Like,
I think they should just impeach him again.
Yeah, I would.
I think they should impeach him for the Roger Stone thing. The irony of Trump getting impeached again for trying to get Roger Stone out of his prison term is ironic.
Don't even hold hearings. Just do it.
Yeah, just
vote him again. Vote on to hold it tomorrow. Say, hey, you know what? It's like a pop quiz when you're in high school. Pop impeachment.
Yeah, why?
All the congressmen, people will show up to work. Matt Gaetz is like having Uber drive him there because
he's not allowed
tanked.
to. Well, he also has that brace. What's that? The ankle.
Yeah, the ankle monitor. You can't like breathe into the little Alka
breathalyzer thing to start the car. Yeah, he's not allowed to have that.
So Uber drops Matt Gaetz off, and he like pours himself into his chair. And first thing, hey, guess what? We're voting on impeachment again. And then there's 20 minutes later, you send the articles over to the Senate.
They impeach him on that, on the Roger Stone thing.
Right.
And impeach him on fucking annulments.
And then...
I would love to see this. Here's the thing that we'll get. This is the one thing that everyone will get. This is what and I know we went on too long with the politics.
Right.
Too bad. So...
it'll be over in November.
It'll never end. It'll never end until we end. So... Fuck. Okay, so how like the Republicans were pushing the whole Hunter Biden thing, and they were saying he was making $50,000 a month,
right?
And it's like it's the stupidest thing to even bring up because it's like, hello, Trump kids,
right? Yeah.
Hello, Trump family. Hello. So this just opens the door. So people can't grasp how much money Trump gets, but if you say we're impeaching you because you're basically charging tax dollars, you're basically making the Secret Service have to pay $650 a night. Each Secret Service agent at your hotel,
right,
that you profit off of.
Yeah, that's
people will get that. $650 a night is money that people understand. They could grasp that.
It's countable.
It's countable, and $650 is like what people make a week in like take home pay and everything.
Right.
Like the average person. I mean, I don't even know. What do you think the average person? If they are lucky, they make $650 a week.
Right.
Honestly, if they're lucky.
Yeah. What is the average salary? Probably like. I don't know, like $50,000 a year, you think? Or?
I have no idea. I don't know because you got all the low-paying jobs and everything. I don't know where it falls under.
Well, if it's 50,
I would just say 40,000.
I would
still say 40. I don't think it's done up.
40,000 a year divided by 2,000 hours. So the $20 an hour times 40. Yeah, 800 a week.
Okay, so minus taxes.
Average. Minus tax, you probably
so $650.
Yeah, probably bring home $650
if you're lucky.
Yep,
$650. And that's not taking off health insurance.
Right.
401k if you have it.
Yes.
Dental, whatever, life insurance, whatever other shit that's taken out of your check. Well, guess what? You can't even afford to stay one night at that stupid Trump hotel.
Right.
But
where are you going to get your bed bugs?
But you're paying for it because the golf trips. Impeach him on that. I don't understand. This to me is the easiest thing. You will win the election. Trump will lose just on this.
Just keep impeaching him. I think that would just be...
And Nancy Pelosi came out today and was like, I don't want to keep doing it because... And this is why she sucks, because of shit like that. It's like, do it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Fucking keep impeaching him. Keep fucking impeaching him and let the Democrats run for president. Let them fight. Let them have a deal with Bloomberg. Let them have a deal with all that. Get Bernie in there. And then by the time it's done, fucking Trump will have like 30 articles on impeachment.
That'd be awesome.
And then he'll win somehow. Because this country's fucked up. Because, and that's what's fucked up now is we're dealing with a president now that just is, all he has to, that's why you have to pick the right candidate. Because all he has to do is like, let's say you pick Bloomberg or Pete Getson, and then you lose some of them. Democrats aren't going to lose the black vote or the Latino vote. Right. They're not going to lose that. But they're going to lose a fraction.
Oh, yeah.
A fraction that would not go to Trump is now going to go to Trump or not vote for Trump or not vote at all.
Yeah, that's the greater danger. People stay home.
So Trump literally wins by 1,000 votes in a state. That's all he has to do.
He won by like 15,000 total in like Wisconsin Michigan
That's a big state.
Yeah.
I think, Pennsylvania is 7,000 or something ridiculous?
It's crazy.
That's all nothing.
I
mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on to other crazy things.
Yes. As we transition from New Hampshire...
We should talk about the store.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
We should have started with the store.
Right, yeah. Well, it's in the description of this very podcast.
Yeah, you're going to see, if you look in the descriptions, there are a lot of podcasts now.
Right.
If you're following us on Instagram at YSGOAT,
yes.
Facebook YSGOAT, or Twitter at YSGOAT,
right,
you will see a link to our Public store, YSGOAT. You could get tees, totes, magnets,
coffee mugs,
right,
stickers,
pins,
right,
hoodies,
exactly.
tanks, Negligee. No, I'm kidding about that. No, we don't have any of that. Blow up dolls.
Hydro flasks.
Bongs. Crack pipes.
The YSGOAT
French
branded
ticklers.
syringe.
French ticklers. Morning after pill.
Right. Yes. Plan B.
Plan B. The pregnancy check.
Yep. Yes.
Prescription bottles.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, just kidding about a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But we have tees and stuff now with the YSGOAT with the logo on any different color you want. You get the tee. If you get the tee, either send us a picture, post in your stories. We will repost it on our Instagram.
Absolutely.
I'll repost it on my Instagram.
Yes.
5 people. I have 90,000 followers on my Instagram, but thanks to whatever, 10 people will see it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's 10 more people that didn't see it before. And
They're engaged people too.
Yeah, they are. Most people are the most engaged. So, yeah, YSGOAT on TeePublic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there'll be links in each episode of this podcast,
Yep.
whether you're on Apple or Stitcher or Spotify or whatnot. And there'll be links on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And it's good stuff. All the stuff you design is real cool looking.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to add more designs with the goat.
Yeah.
We have we'll see. The sky's the limits,
Right.
and we'll probably put links to my Etsy store and
Yes.
my other TeePublic store, which is not related to
No.
this podcast, but it's related to me, who's in this podcast.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
Therefore, it's
It's in the ballpark. It's
Sure.
the extended family.
the extended family,
Right.
Part of the YSGOAT
Exactly.
family.
Right. It's like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Archie. Right.
I thought you were going to say Jughead.
No, Jughead. All right. So there's that. Now the movie we're talking about.
Wait, we're
This
talking about a
week.
movie?
Yes.
Sorry, he got so stuck in talking about Amy Klobuchar.
Is Truman Show.
And what is that, Joseph?
And the Truman Show is basically it's a science fiction-y type satire.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Well, it was originally based on a Twilight Zone episode
From the 80s.
Yes, and it was I forget the name of it. Secret Special Service or something. It was called. But yeah, it's basically a take on.
Well, I don't know if it was based on that episode as in more. It was just the idea
Similar.
was. A guy sued the Truman Show, actually.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, a person wrote a screenplay, and he had a play, and
Oh.
he sued them. And I remember watching the news, around the time the movie came out, and they showed, a recording of the play.
Yeah, was it real similar?
I mean, for, the little clip they showed, the shitty stage theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how it ever settled. I don't know what happened, but...
this is one of those now, and it's going to sound like I'm bad mouthing the film, but it's a great movie.
I think it's the concept is amazing. The movie's good. It was a weird Jim Carrey he was he got really famous for besides being in Living Color and being in a bunch of movies before that. Once Bitten.
Yes.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh gosh! Wow.
Yeah. He was one of the aliens.
Yeah.
The wacky one, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. I mean, you have to play the normal
The googly-eyed alien.
He was the googly-eyed gremlin, also.
Right. Yeah.
And, The Mask. He was in The Mask,
Right,
obviously, and then he did Batman Forever.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, too.
Yeah.
And then he's in a couple of things, but, Cable Guy, which was a weird movie. Cable Guy is a strange movie because, Truman Show was it looked like, okay, this is the kind of stuff that Jim Carrey wanted to do for his career. He didn't want to just do these crazy comedies. Right. And he wanted to start trying to do some more drama. And you can't just do Pet Detective and then go do a drama. I think now some actors are able to pull that off. They could show up in things. But back in the day, if you were if an audience was used to in a type of role...
He was typecast.
You would get typecast. I remember reading a story about Ed O'Neill.
Okay.
From Married with Children, All Modern Family, and
tons
of other stuff. He was cut from a movie because the people in the test audience were laughing when they saw him. I think he was cut from JFK or it was some famous Oliver Stone movie where he had a scene and he was cut from it because people could not see him outside the Al Bundy role and they were laughing at him.
He was in that Dragnet reboot. Do you remember that? It was on TV for a year. he played Joe Friday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he played Joe Friday, and this is a true story. It was I think it only aired for like 8 episodes, and then it got cut. And he played Joe Friday, and then I forget who played the partner, but in like the first episode, one of the subplots was a bukkake film. And I thought that was like
on a normal TV.
Yeah, it was a normal TV, and this was like a long time ago. And I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!"
This is
they just
post-marriage
said
children,
that.
right?
Yes, and if I remember right, they sold that as like his first serious role. He probably had many serious roles other than that, but this was like
he was in Fort Fairlane with Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, right. Wasn't Tom Hanks in a Dragnet?
He was in the movie.
Yeah,
the movie with Dan Aykroyd.
Right, that was a great movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that one day.
Right.
But a good Ed O'Neill. I have a good Ed O'Neill story.
Okay.
One time when I used to work for Trauma, because like when I worked there, I had a job that had nothing to really do with the actual movie production. But I wanted to get involved, and I wanted to do like, so I wasn't paid to do it, but I would just show up, look at. Even I was probably more annoying than helpful on the sets.
Right.
Guarantee it. I did stuff for like they were doing a thing called Trump's Edge TV, so I'd help I would do whatever, be an extra or whatever in the background. And they were doing this like late night filming thing, and it was like, God, I think I went to like 4 a.m. or something. I went to like a diner in New York City, and we're going to the diner, and then I see Ed O'Neill talking to this guy at the table. This is like 2000. Yeah, this is 2000, maybe 2001, early, very early. And Ed O'Neill had a TV show at the time. That was like on ABC. It was getting like good reviews.
Sure.
And I went up to him and I was like, probably like drunk or whatever. I was just like, "Hey man, I heard your new show's awesome. That's great." And then we were like asking to get an autograph, and you're like, "No autographs." But he was cool. The fact that he would even talk to us and say hi to us was like fine. I mean, we're like, it's like 4 a.m. Like, leave this man alone.
Yeah.
But the fucked up thing was, and he probably knew it already.
Yeah.
When I said to him, "I heard your show is great," I see the news the next day.
It was canceled.
Yes. So fucked up, and he probably already knew.
Yeah, he probably knew. Yeah. Right.
Like, fuck you.
That's funny. Yeah.
If I ever see that fucking guy again. Came up to me in a diner at 4 a.m.
Albatross.
You fucking black cat.
Well, it was okay. So yeah, you're right. This was a weird one for Jim Carrey. He was transitioning into more serious roles. The
concept the concept's interesting because this is 1998 it comes out?
1998 it came out.
So you don't really you have the internet, but you don't have social media yet, really.
Right.
I don't think even like Friendster existed. Like there was AOL not. Chat rooms, there was like, all that kind of stuff. There was like boards already that people would, comment sections like that existed. But like social media, personas, but reality TV was already popular at this point.
Right.
It was already you already had the Real World. I think, was Survivor on yet? I don't know if Survivor was on yet, but like...
No. But you had Real World, clearly.
Yeah.
And did you have like Big Brother? I think you had like The Mole.
I don't think that was even there yet in the late 90s. Survivor, I think, was like... Yeah. After that.
But the concept of reality TV
was already a thing. It was already starting to take over. And this kind of played... So the whole concept of this movie, and it's kind of fucked up, is that... His name's Jim? No, what's his name? Truman?
It's Truman Burbank.
Truman Burbank,
yes,
okay.
Which is a great name.
Yeah.
For a bunch of reasons, but it's like Truman Burbank. It's like very... flows off the tongue.
Yeah.
But like Burbank is clearly like Hollywood, right?
Yep.
Like a studio. And Truman... like a true man, like
he's not
right. It's a weird little.
Yeah,
he's not a true man. He's like
so Burbank being a Hollywood. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you find out that he was basically born. He was they wanted to film a reality show that would basically follow a guy's whole life.
Yes.
The whole fucked up thing is like this guy's not aware he's on a show,
right?
Which is insane when you think about it.
Yes.
The concept starts off with him. It's like literally he gets in his car and a stage light falls down from the sky and hits the street.
Yes.
And he's like, what?
Right. Yeah.
And that already starts it right off the bat. And there's like little fucked up things, and you're like wondering, like, okay, are they fucking with him, or is this that this studio and set's now like probably 20 years old already? Because they show you like the first is just a camera in a crib.
Yes.
And then, like, people watch that, and as a kid, like, the set has to get bigger and bigger.
Right.
And then as an adult, like, by the time he's, like, they got to create a whole world.
Yeah.
So it was this dome. How big was it? It was, like, something insane. You could see it from space.
Yes.
This, it was, like, Hollywood set.
Right. It was like an ecosphere. And, yeah, it was, like, artificially lit and climate controlled.
Yeah, and the moon.
Yes.
The moon was, like, him. With Christoph's, like... which is insane,
right? Like Dr. Manhattan or something, or Ozymandias.
Yeah. So like things would be faulty, like where it would supposed to rain, but it would just rain on him.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "What?" And he'd walk away from it. But then it would all come down.
Right.
And it would be like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. It was almost like, and we said we're not going to like recap the film per se, but it was almost like. We join Truman as A, he's beginning to get this feeling something's wrong.
Yep.
And B, the world itself is falling apart. Like, whether it's due to age or you can only keep that.
It's a symbolic of him starting to realize it's fake.
Yes.
So the world's falling apart.
Right.
His marriage is falling apart.
Yes. There's little things he sees. He begins to become very skeptical, and then like you said, the light falls and some real stuff happens where he's like, this isn't right. But like his entire world is conspiring to keep him under the impression that things are cool. So it's real hard to it's like trying to put on a fitted sheet, you know, when like one thing pops up,
right?
And he something's like fucked up, but like everyone else is in on it, and only occasionally does like someone say like, you're in a movie, you know what I mean? Like,
they showed that people have snuck onto the set over the years, but very seldom. Like they did things to him like where they had to they killed his father off.
Yeah,
you find out he has a fear of leaving,
of water.
Well, fear of water, fear of traveling in general.
Yes,
like everything's great. And where does he live? Sea Cove or
Seabrook, Seahaven, I think.
Yeah.
But they filmed it all in Seaside, Florida, which is a real planned community in Florida, and it was made to look like 1950s America. It's a new urbanist
Yeah, that's
city.
What's weird too about this. Like, it's weird. The world that he lives in is like an idealized Americana.
Yeah, Norman Rockwell.
It's a thing that like Republicans try to sell.
Yes. Seaside's most famous resident in Florida, the real city in Florida, is, or used to be at least, Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, really?
Yes, who will die soon of stage 4 lung cancer. Yes.
Did you see what he post Freedom? We should have saved it earlier in the podcast, but after winning the Medal of Freedom, he attacked
Mayor Pete's
relationship.
Yeah,
saying
he's
a fucking boomer.
Right. Well, so
sorry, boomers.
So they built this ecosphere
to our strong boomer audience.
And put Truman in it, and that's where we join him at the beginning, and the world is beginning to.
Well, like he's starting to notice things too. So like obviously, like the lights, like the first thing, like that's not a normal thing. A stage light with a thing on it, and he sees like other things too. Like he starts to notice like actors. He sees like a homeless man, and then later on, that same homeless man is now playing like someone walking through his office.
Right,
and he's starting to notice like, hey, I saw you earlier, and now you're in a suit. And that guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because everyone basically has like an earpiece.
Right,
like that was the other thing too. When he's driving his car, the radio signal gets fucked up, and he starts hearing
the
what everyone else is hearing.
Right,
and he's just like, what? And then they had to like And it's so funny whenever they oh, that's just a normal operational function.
Yeah.
Like when the radio starts to realize that he was listening to the wrong thing.
It is. I mean, it's kind of clever. Like there's a lot. I guess that's the thing. Is there's a lot to unpack with a movie because you would. Truman's like losing his ability to tell what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
You know, which I guess like happens in like some mental illnesses, and it happens to all of us to some degree. You know, like we all get tricked sometimes by things. You know, like you'll think you saw something, but it will have been like an optical illusion, or your sense of time will get fucked up. You know, like you'll be sitting on the couch watching TV, and the next thing you know, it's like 6 p.m. And you'll be like, what happened? You know, it's a very unsettling feeling. But Truman's getting it, like, super hard and super bizarre.
Well, the thing, too, is, like, you know, he starts to notice, like, his wife will, like, advertise something.
Yeah.
They'll get into, like, a fight, and then she'll just, like, put something to the camera, like, oh, look what I got.
Right.
Oh, don't you need that new lawnmower? Or when he's hanging out with his best bud.
Marlon is
he would always, like, the camera would hold him holding a beer and drinking it.
Yeah.
It's, like, so fucked up.
But it's weird because, like, Truman would have no concept that that's unusual.
Right.
Although it feels artificial to him. You know what I mean? Like, you get the sense that he's like, why are you doing that? You know, like, you can kind of see the gears moving in his brain.
I don't know if he realizes... He starts to realize it more with his wife than his friend. His friend, like... I don't know, maybe the guy's just a better actor.
Yeah.
Not a better actor as, like, in the movie, but... a better actor in this world. Like, he's able to play the dopey best friend who's, like, not married. It's, like, the perfect... It's, like, this... Everything's, like, this idealized thing. It's, like... It is, like, a sitcom.
It is.
But it's, like, the real... It's, like, everything's idolized. Like, you got the wife, and then you got the best friend who's always available to you.
Yep.
Drink beer. It's, like, he's got, like, a menial job.
Yeah.
He's kind of a goofball, you know? So it's, like... You are the alpha. You're the main character in your story because he's just a side character,
right?
And which is kind of like how it's crafted. The wife, I just like how she's like a nurse, but it's like the joke is that he can't access her during the day, because she's has her own life, probably outside the studio, and doesn't come back to work until. 6 o'clock.
Right.
There's some, like, holes in it. I mean, we can,
of course.
We can go into it much further and say, like, this is, like, impossible. And honestly, if you were, let's say you were in this world, like, he is let's say he's a prisoner. Right.
Everyone is to some extent.
But everyone's a prisoner.
Yeah.
Because everyone has to do this insane job.
Yeah.
Where one thing is, the best is you're just, like, an extra. You're literally just there.
Yeah.
And you could have, like, conversations, and you're just getting paid to be living in this world.
Paid to be there, yeah.
And maybe you have an interaction with them.
Well, it's such a bizarre thing, you know?
Sorry, I have the... Yeah.
And it's also, like, you see that on some long-running shows where it's like, oh, now we have a new Darren. Or now we have a new, like, Bewitched or something.
Right,
or
like later on in the movie, because he has a fight with the wife and then an altercation, and obviously the actress that plays the wife doesn't want to be in it anymore.
Right.
So they start to set up a thing where, and this is where he already, spoilers.
Yes.
I'm going to spoil this.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Movie that's over 20 years old.
Yeah, right.
They're like going to introduce him to a new woman, and it's so bad. I think that's at that point when he meets that lady in the office, and she's just kind of looking at him, and it's so ridiculous that she's just like way too long. It's like, okay, we get it. You're going to be like, this is your new wife or whatever.
Your new partner.
Yeah. But at this point, he knows this is like not normal.
Yeah.
Because they were going to like have her come in and be the new wife, and they were going to have like an... Okay, so, like, he's married to this woman.
Yes.
And this is where we can have this, like, deeper now.
Sure.
I'd rather talk about, like...
Themes
and, like, how this movie may... Like, also, like, how could this even possibly work? Because, is he having sex with his wife?
Well, I don't know. Like, look, they never make it clear whether he is or
They
isn't.
are sharing a bed.
Yes. They don't have any kids, right?
The grandma keeps... his mother keeps saying, when are you going to give me a kid?
Yeah.
And there's a plot. I recommend if you watch this movie, to look up some of the deleted scenes because there's some good deleted scenes. There's like a subplot that kind of gets removed from deleted scenes where they basically wanted to make a Truman Show 2 with his son, where they would basically just have a simultaneous channel where the son would have his own show.
Right. Yeah. And they would run like parallel while the two of them were alive, and then when Truman passed away, the son would have his own show. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird because if you look at, I think a lot of this movie depends on how you're looking at it, which is probably true of a lot of movies, but it's even more true here. If you think this is a critique, if you think this is a critique of reality television, which it certainly can be, you don't have to look too far to understand that they put characters together in reality TV shows and kind of trick or coerce or manipulate them into having sex. Right? Like the Bachelor TV show.
But you don't even know if that's true if they even had sex.
No, but
it's...
Right, but I guess that's another point, is it doesn't even matter. It's
reality, all those shows are bullshit. My brother's best friend's brother was he's an actor.
Uh-huh.
He does stuff for movies and everything, but one of his earlier gigs was literally just to be on a dating game show.
Oh, yeah,
but it was an acting gig, basically.
Right.
I mean, Steve Martin, one of his first gigs was a dating game show, actually, in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of his early appearances.
Right.
And it just shows you that, all these things are fake.
Yeah.
They're all, just set up. Yeah, maybe there is some people who actually maybe do fall in love on those shows. Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah, there is. My wife and I used to watch a show called Outback Jack.
Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Jack, which was
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It ran for 1 year, and it was basically they took 20 attractive women, dropped them in the rural Australia with a Crocodile Dundee stand-in.
Isn't that that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and anyway, this woman Natalie won and married Outback Jack, and they moved to Kentucky.
Outback Jack!
They moved to Kentucky, and they're still married 20 years later, and he's a firefighter or something.
That's awesome.
It's
That's a rare...
It's so bizarre. I can't believe I remembered it.
Do you remember that Fox had a reality show? It was The Bachelor, but they got a guy who was
Joe Millionaire.
Yeah, Joe
yes.
No. Yeah, right?
Right. His last name was Marriott, and they tricked the women into thinking he was heir of the Marriott hotel fortune.
But he was just a...
construction worker.
But the joke was that he wasn't. He
right.
was an actor, and he actually was not...
He had nothing. Yeah.
No, but he wasn't... The joke, too, was that was fake.
Oh.
That he wasn't just some working schlub.
Oh, he was just an actor?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right,
the whole thing... Monica Lewinsky hosted it or something.
Oh no, we might be thinking of different ones.
I swore she hosted Joe Millionaire.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, so if you look at the Truman Show as a critique of reality television, then that's part of it. It's these people.
But this goes even further because it's everyone is aware of it except the main guy.
Right.
He's not aware. I'm wondering if and I found it interesting. They show people's audience reactions.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I said that they show these two waitresses.
Oh yeah.
One of them is the woman from Miracle Mile.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
The one in the beginning that that works in the diner.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was one of the waitresses. Funny. Yeah. That's why I was I think I've seen her in other movies.
Well, okay. So,
but you think there'll be people watching it, and because so. The audience led to believe that Truman had no idea that he was on a fake, that everything was a lie. It seemed like the audience was aware that they were watching something fake.
Yes.
But were they aware that Truman was not in on it?
I believe so because of the Free Truman movement.
Right.
Right.
But do you think there would be people who would be skeptical, be like, it's bullshit. He knows that it's fake.
Yeah.
I'll
bet you. Yeah.
I mean, of course, there would have to be people who are skeptical.
Right.
There's always skeptical people. Those people don't believe in gravity.
Right.
Why would they believe that
right.
he's fully? They'd be like, that's insane. How could they lie to this guy his whole life?
Right. Well, Right. I mean, that would make sense. But you can also look at the film as like having nothing to do with reality TV, and it's kind of just like a weird little quirky science fiction movie.
Yeah, but you don't realize your life is everything's falling apart. There was a movie that came out years ago with Will Ferrell where he finds out that he's a character in a book.
Oh, yeah.
Or like a writer is affecting his life.
Yes. Right. God, what was that called?
I don't even remember.
It came out around the same time as like Adaptation.
I swear it was like over 10 years ago.
Right.
Maybe 15 years ago. Yeah.
Do you remember that right after, I think in 99, they came out with Ed TV, which was basically like...
That was but he was aware of it.
Yes. It was he played... It was a similar concept, but executed very differently.
Right. What was it like? I don't even remember what the concept was. I saw it in a theater. I don't remember.
It was Matthew McConaughey, wasn't it? He agreed to be on the TV show, to have his life filmed. I just remember at the time, like, there's always those movies where it's like Volcano and Dante's Peak come out at the same time. This was one of those...
Truman Show's a better concept.
Oh,
well, Truman Show's more... I would say Ed TV's a little more grounded.
Yeah.
Truman Show's definitely more on the sci-fi element. I mean, the fact that there's a giant dome this size that you can see from space. Like...
It is. There's I remember when we first started talking about this, I was trying to think of, like, how to describe it. It's more science fiction... It's actually probably like classic science fiction in the sense that it's like science-based fiction. Like, there's nothing super fantastical happening here. It's like stuff that could conceivably happen. It's just very improbable.
It's a lot of work.
And we don't have the technology.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
We have the technology to pull that off. Oh, it's there.
To build a dome that would feel...
totally. Yeah, if they want, it would be a ton of... I mean, like, man, this must be the only thing people watched.
Yeah.
This literally must have been... the only thing. And if that's the case, I mean, come on. There would have to be copycats.
True.
There would have to be other, like, copycats of Truman Show. There would have to be, like, the studio that owned the Truman Show would try to find...
Right.
They would have other shows. They would have, like, in that same universe.
Right,
in this globe, they would have another, like, a woman, and they would follow her around. That's, like, if I were to, like... To me, they would make more sense. Like, they wouldn't just build this one just to focus on one guy, and everyone's main job is to just keep this guy in line, keep him, like, tricked into thinking he's living in a reality. That's the most insane part. Like, whenever he starts to, like, veer, like, the joke is too. It's kind of like a critique on, like, how and this is like the late '90s, but except for, like, some technology, it's not that much different in some aspects. But, like, people don't travel like they as much.
True,
people are scared to fly. People are scared to leave their town. People, like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So, and it shows you, like, how the studio, and it gets all these actors to, like, find ways to interrupt his day so he doesn't go and do that thing. Like, the best is when he goes to the travel agency.
Yeah.
And the woman, you see that she was the nurse. Because right before he goes to the travel agency, he tries to go see his wife. And, like, they had to, like, create... I mean, the whole thing is insane. So, like, they have a hospital. But, I mean, I guess people are just walking around, and it's like he finally shows up. They're like, shit, we have to, like...
Right, pretend to be, like, hospitaling or something.
And the guy's, like, pretending to do surgery now. Like, they have to, like, pull this shit together in, like, they have, like, 2 seconds. And one of the nurses... ends up being the travel agent in the next scene. And you see under her, like, businesswoman suit...
Right, scrubs.
Is the scrubs just peeking out from the collar. And when he's like, I want to go to Fiji.
Yeah.
Or whatever, she's, like, typing in numbers, like, oh, sorry, we just don't have any flights.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, we just can't leave. Or anytime he goes on, like, the bus, oh, we're getting stopped. Or
well, remember when he was going to be spontaneous, and then there's just, like, this increasingly improbable sequence of events, like, culminating in a nuclear power plant disaster or something.
And there's a leak in the power plant.
Yeah.
And they just, like, capture him with a net.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like, totally insane.
It's like a farce,
I love, what's her face? Laura Linney?
Who
plays his wife. Like, she's so good in this because she's, like, she's evil.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's a horrible person. And it's
right.
fucked up. See, that's what's fucked up is, like, that cut. There's that awesome deleted scene where it's, like, later on in the movie, and that's when Christoph meets with, like, the crew behind the scene.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they wanted to cut it out because it almost makes it too dark.
Yeah.
Because they reveal, like, you know, when, like, they introduce a new woman, or, like, you're going to be the wife, we're going to have
Right.
an online, we're going to show an actual sex scene, and, you know, it's just, like, skirts lines of, like, okay, is this a porn? Like, what is it at this point? But not to him. He thinks he's having...
It's just life.
He thinks it's life, but it's just a gig, and then, like, his best friend... Because even, like, when the best friend, even though he's an actor, you feel like he's his friend in some ways. But that scene that they cut is like so dark when he says like, oh, you mean like when he dies? Like he could give a fuck about Truman. He could care less. And this guy's been his friend, supposedly, since childhood.
Well, do you remember that one scene where he was saying like, I'd run into traffic for you and I'd never ever lie to you? And like you realize Christoph's feeding him these lines and like they mean nothing. He's like, he's looking at the guy in the eye and saying, I would never lie to you. And he's lying to him as he's saying, I would never lie to you. Which is weird.
So it's like, that's what's fucked up. It's like, and you can look at this too, like as a job. You know, there's people who work together, and there are people that are next to them, and they could give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
And you probably see that person you don't give a fuck about more hours a day than you see your loved ones, your family. You don't see your kids. You see these people in this office that you don't give a fuck about the majority of them.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do, but some people don't. And or maybe you do, you care.
Right, but they don't care about
give
you.
A fuck about you.
It is weird.
And it's weird because you watch this movie and you're like the fact that they have no empathy for him is so fucked up. They, especially like the best friend. I mean, like, and then what? I'm just an actor. Like that's insane. It's like because it's like that's why it's super like okay. So when Truman gets out, I mean, will he be able to ever trust anybody in his life?
Yeah. Well, I think it's weird because like another big look at it, and I don't understand it. Well, people say like it's a critique of reality TV. It's a critique of like modernity. It's a critique of like
what?
Modern, like the modern
experience.
You know, like what it's like to be alive in modern times.
Right.
Because it is weird. Like this predates Facebook and Instagram and everything, but like shit, it's not.
Well, even if this happened today, or was even. Social media would not exist in this guy's world.
Right, couldn't.
It couldn't.
No.
It would never...
or they'd have to go like China.
Does he have, like... Okay, so he understands Fiji, right? Or he understands that's like another country, but does he understand that he's in the United States? Does he understand that there's, like, a president? Does he understand that there's, like... Is there a state he's in? That's what really gets really deep. It's like, does he have as far as you know, is his world literally just what's in this dome? And it's like as if you don't exist. There's nothing outside this dome.
We know he believes that there's like Atlantic City and New Orleans, but
he's just scared to travel.
Right, because he talks about them like, I want to go to Atlantic City. So he must have an idea that... And because he says, like, when Laura Linney's like, you want to go to Fiji? And he's like, well, we can't drive there. So he understands, like, the notion of a globe. That there's an ocean and you cannot drive to Fiji. And he does understand that you can drive to these other places, like New Orleans. But,
he is living on an island, right? Like, isn't it? I think it's like, they show it, like, it's surrounded by water. So he's afraid to leave. So he can't just drive off.
Right.
He has to take a boat or he has to get away from it. Yeah. There's like it's an island.
I think so,
they show it in the dome. So it's like he is, as far as you know, he's just scared to get off this island. And they, by having his father die, but then the father shows up.
Yeah, they bring him back.
He was lost at sea. No, but that's not what happens. The actor broke on the set and was like showed up as like a homeless man.
Right.
And he goes up to him. He's like, "What the fuck?" So then they had to have that. Then they have that like that fake dramatic scene later where like the best friend's talking to him, and then it's like, and then the dad shows up. But I think at that point, that's when Truman was like, "Okay, this is complete bullshit."
Yeah.
So like, okay, so they have magazines in this world because he's cutting up magazines,
to recreate.
So do they have to create
magazines? Yeah.
Right? Like, what if one day he's just like, I'm going to get that instead. And then they would be like, oh, no, you don't want that because there's nothing in it. They didn't produce it.
Yeah, it's an empty box.
It's an empty box. Like, no, you don't want that, Truman. That's like, the guy has to like literally talk him out of getting it.
Yeah.
Like, I want this instead. Yeah. Like, they had to like create like a full newspaper stand.
Right.
Or he puts on the TV. I guess he's limited to whatever channels he knows, but they have to produce.
Well,
whatever.
I wonder if that's part of it, like the idea of choice, because like sometimes I think we suffer under the illusion that we're free, that we have all these freedoms and that we can choose all these things. And in one way, we make the same choices over and over again. We're kind of like stuck in these routines.
Yeah.
Like if I go to Burger King, I'm going to order the Impossible Whopper every single time. Now that's a weird example because that's probably the only thing I can eat there. But like I go to the same.
I heard about the Impossible Whopper.
They cook it on what?
They cook it on the same grill.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it's loaded with more sodium and sugar.
Oh yeah, that's what makes it delicious. That's what makes it. But like I also like.
We didn't get paid by them.
No, but we're open to it.
Yeah, pay us Kurger Bing.
But like. I can walk anywhere in this town I want to when I take my dog on a walk, but I walk the same routes every time.
But you're still a human. You could still one day be like, you know what, I'm going to go that way.
But I don't. Right,
like, I know.
But like when I go upstairs, on Friday night, I'm going to play like the same video games over and over again. Like that I've been playing for years.
Right, but you still were able to buy the. I get it. We get stuck in a routine.
Right,
but still, they have to be on top of it. I mean, like one day, like I'll go to a store even if I don't want to buy it. I want to look at it.
Right.
So if I say I want to go look at the magazine, I'd be like, yeah, let me look at that one.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well,
you can't.
You can't. No, you
just
can't.
The cover.
You didn't pay for it. Yeah, but I mean, like they have to like everything. As he gets older, as his world expands, they had to obviously expand this globe.
Right.
But then his interests will expand, everything, like... And they say, like, everything... And if you watch the deleted scenes, they go into it more.
Yeah.
Where literally everything is an ad on the show. That, like, you find out, like... He's living his life, but literally every actor, everyone is selling things. The wife is selling things.
It's just like, all product placement.
The whole thing, like when he's hanging out with a friend. And it's a different beer, and he's like the camera looks at him, and like, and he's holding the beer. It's so fucked up.
It is. Well, when we were talking about this prior to this, we talked about, or you had mentioned that it's a lot like The Matrix in a lot of ways, which I agree. But I was thinking, what it reminds me of in like a really weird way is Jurassic Park. Like,
well, the whole thing is a fake amusement park,
and like. And I don't understand it completely, but a lot of people see religious stuff in this, and you don't have to be a genius to figure out Christoph is kind of like Christ or God or whatever. And
he's a guy in the sky.
He even
in the sky.
The sun. He's like so, and then True Man is like Truman, and like he calls himself the creator. So there's a lot of religious symbolism in here, and it's kind of like a weird thing where like. You create, like in Jurassic Park, they created the Jurassic Park or whatever, but then like nature has a way of fucking shit up.
Yeah.
And like...
Nature finds a way.
Right, nature finds a way, which is like the great line from Jurassic Park. And that's kind of what happens here is like they set up a world and they plan everything so perfectly, but man, you
things get fucked up.
Things get fucked up,
like the
right?
light falling.
Right.
Shit happens.
Little shit happens. And that's the problem with like doing anything over a long period of time is that you can hold shit together for X number of days.
All right.
And you can maybe even hold shit together for X number of years. But eventually a light bulb falls. And eventually you got to recycle an actor. And eventually and then it all goes to hell, right? Like
like Truman's like, "Well, I want to see this person."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, they're dead." Like, okay, so let's say his wife leaves the show.
Yeah.
And he meets this new woman. He's never going to bump into her again.
Right. Yeah.
He's never going to show up. Like, it's like, that's not how the world works.
Right.
And the thing is, like, maybe it would work for him because that's all he knows.
Yeah, that's a wild card. Right.
you can look at it that way too. I mean, he has no concept of reality because, like I said, does he understand like a world outside of him? They have to create the world for him. Like when he's watching, one of the best parts is he's watching TV and there's a guy reviewing a movie or talking about a movie, and it's the most like generic movie. Like the guy talking and the guy, it's just like, and it's what you would picture like a film critic to look like.
Yeah.
Like kind of little, like with the glasses,
right,
and, like, little studious, and I just remember when he's talking, like the guy's describing the movie, but it's almost like he's telling Truman to like shut up, enjoy your life. And, friends is like if you have friends, you have all the wealth. Like it's all about like, hey, don't try to go outside your lane.
Right.
Stay where you are. Everything's here for you. We have you taken care of.
Everything in the universe is built to keep him from exploring. Right. Or it's all built to keep him on a predestined path, right? And that's like, it's a weird thing. Like, it does have a lot in common with The Matrix that way. And I think that, like, probably around the 90s, you know, when these movies were coming out, and the millennium was coming up, and Y2K, and we've talked about a couple movies like this. I think there's this kind of it's probably common in all ages, but, like, things aren't right. You know what I mean? Like, something's weird. And it really taps into that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you there was something. Oh, you're introduced to you see he keeps like picturing a woman. So like obviously he's married to the Laura Linney's character, but you could tell like back of his head there's some woman that he met years earlier.
Yeah.
And it's like it stuck with him.
Right.
When they were like in like high school.
Yeah.
Like the flashback. It looks like Happy Days. It looks like something out of like American Graffiti.
And he hides, like somehow he hides from the camera. He doesn't do it on purpose, but he's recreating her face with
again, magazines that they have to produce for him.
Right.
They have to like...
they have to create a world.
Everything has to be crafted. There's a whole art department that has to create real magazines for him. And that's why it's like insane, the movie.
Yeah.
Like, how much money could the show possibly generate to pull that off?
Yeah.
That would be one... I think they could pull it off in reality if everyone was in on it.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do a good job to make you feel like it's authentic. The guy doesn't know.
Right.
But to trick somebody, that is, well, one, it's insane. It's cruel.
It's unethical. It's probably illegal. I mean...
Well, the fact they said that, like, it gets into, like, you know, when you find out, like, 2/3 into the movie, 3/4, they do, like, kind of like a flashback, explains everything.
Yeah.
And they're talking to, what's his face from Spinal Tap? He plays Burns and Simpsons.
Right. Yeah. Harry Shearer. Yeah.
And it's kind of, what's funny is this predicts, it's a show about the show. Which is kind of like a big thing now, like Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick, and all those shows do that now.
Yeah.
Like, they all have that. Like Breaking Bad was doing it at the end, and like...
Yeah. It is it's...
Stranger Things did it.
Yeah.
Like, they do it. Like, shows, talking about the shows. Or, like, what's his face? The guy who does, like, on Bravo. My wife would watch that crap with, like, the Housewives.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like,
I know what you're talking about.
That guy would, like, Andy Cohen? Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Like, again, talking about the show you just watched, which to me is, like, insane. But, you know, you feel like, hey, you're part of the conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking about the show. And it's like, that's a thing. And when you watch the Truman Show, you're like, holy shit. But, like... That is something that I don't know if they did that back then. It's like, did that predict that? I don't remember like seeing shows about shows back then.
I don't recall that either. But I do recall people being like captivated by those types of shows and those conversations happening. You know, like maybe it was on ET, like Entertainment Tonight or whatever.
You know, that's when they talk about like it's a little convenient, but they explain his origin, and you find out like. That Truman was there was 5 unwanted pregnancies basically, and the studios were like, "No, we'll take the babies," and they basically did an audition. There was 5 babies, and then they adopted. Basically, Truman was the first legal adoption to a corporation.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess as an adult, though, in theory, like when he leaves, they can't. He's an adult.
No, and that's ultimately it. Is that like even the Ed Harris? Was it Ed Harris?
Yeah.
Ed Harris. Did you know they were? You know who was originally going to play that role?
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they
amazing.
said that. I was like watching some things. You probably watched the same thing I watched,
yeah.
but like they said that Dennis Hopper, that Jim Carrey never actually interacted with Ed Harris once because Ed Harris doesn't go into that world ever. He's up in the sky.
Yeah.
He interacts in the real world, or he's in the sky in the studio. When he's talking to him in the end, he in his mind, I think, because they filmed all the stuff after supposedly, that Dennis, he probably thought he was talking to Dennis Hopper.
Probably, yeah.
Hey man, you fucks, Daddy. What was it?
Daddy wants to fuck.
Baby wants to fuck. He's just huffing.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be great. Like
that would be good.
He's just what's his name? Booth.
Yeah, Frank Booth.
Frank Booth instead of Christoph. That's why they fired him because Dennis Hopper came in on set with
a nitrous tank or something.
Nitrous tank and.
Well, it is weird. It's like.
That's a Blue Velvet.
Yeah,
so you could catch that in one of our older episodes.
Well, he does have free choice because even at the end, Ed Harris says, "You can leave. You know, like we've done all we can to stop you, but you can leave. But it's out there is no more truthful than in here." And Jim Carrey's like, "Well, fuck it." He does that little spiel like, "Good evening."
Well, the funny thing is he has a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Which is insane. He has a catchphrase. What's the catchphrase? Like
if I don't see you, then good morning, good afternoon, and good night, or something.
And then he goes,
he
like leans back, goes, Arr!
Yeah.
And he says that a couple times throughout the show, which is weird because like normal people don't do that, but like a person on a TV show would do that.
Right.
So someone at some point in his life got him to say that, and he thought it was like a normal thing to do. And people would react to it.
Right, yeah. They encouraged it.
Yeah, they would encourage it. And it was like, people probably hoped every day he did it at least once.
Right. Well, he did. Like, he said that, he would say that often
enough.
So, yeah, like, a lot of it is kind of like the idea of choice. Like, we have this illusion of choice up until the moment we start doing things. And
so there's a woman in the movie, and that's where he's like cutting up. It's weird because when he's in his like, I don't know, he sleeps in the attic sometimes, not with his wife.
That is weird. Yeah,
and they don't go into it too much, but he has like his space where he disappears and he like talks into the mirror and he draws things in the mirror.
Little like, astronaut helmet.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of the real world when they would do those like where people talk to the camera.
Yes, yeah, confessional room.
Confessional room, yeah. But it was like but he's not aware. He just thinks he's by himself.
That's funny, yeah.
And I just love, and it's weird. Like, why would? Because this is like a major scene in his life that stuck with him, where this woman, who is literally just hired as an extra, breaks the rules and tries to basically free him.
Right.
She was like a plant to free him, and why would the move like in the movie they play it like because the audience that's like you're the audience, but then there's an audience like they show like the same guys working like the security, the waitresses, the old ladies in the home watching. Yeah, they're all the guy in the bathtub's the best.
Right. Yeah,
he never leaves that bathtub.
No,
he's great. I think he's the last when he gets really excited. Yeah, he's like like when Truman leaves, it'd be great if he had a radio next to him that falls in the bathtub and he dies. I know that would be pretty dark, but it would be kind of funny. Yeah, a good lesson not to put radios by your bathtub.
Valuable lesson.
Yeah, valuable. But like, they show like whatever senior prom, whatever. And it's like what's Laura Linney's character just gets in his face because she's supposed to be his girlfriend, right? Who will be his wife? Like it's like she shoves herself, and he sees that woman in the library, and he's like really instantly attracted to her, and there's obviously something going on, and then she like gets him to go away, and they go to the beach, and that's where she explains to him this is all fake,
right?
And then like the dad just magically shows up, just some actor, and he's like she does this to everyone. We're moving to Fiji, and that's why he says he wants to go to Fiji. He gets that implanted in his head.
Right.
The guy was just saying whatever dumb thing you need to say just to get her out of there.
Yeah. It is. There's a lot going on in there.
Well, it's strange that they would even show that clip again.
Yeah.
Why would you? If that was like a fuck up, you would, as a studio, you would probably want people to never remember this girl.
Right.
Never remember that she existed on the show. And make sure that like the audience is not aware that this woman was trying to free him. And then later on, when he's on his on that Harry Shearer show,
yes, yeah,
Christoph shows up,
right,
and that's when they interviews him. That woman calls in.
Oh yeah,
and he's like talking about politics. You're not going to inject your politics into this, or
yeah. I looked up
some Bernie bro.
Well,
she's just some Bernie bro. You're not trying to free Truman.
I looked up the script to this because I was wondering one of the things I used to not like about Jim Carrey is that I thought, like Robin Williams, he would improvise and then you'd get all sorts of random nonsense in the script.
Right.
And so like those scenes were like yeah, when Jim Carrey's like drawing on the mirror, I was like, I wonder if that was in the script or if that's just Jim Carrey
I'm
fucking
just gonna
around.
do that.
Yeah, right? And I didn't discover it. I skimmed the script. I didn't have time to read the whole script or whatever. But I did kind of come to some conclusion about Jim Carrey in that, hopefully this makes sense, like Tom Cruise can be funny in funny movies and he can be serious in serious movies, right? Yeah. And there's a bunch of actors like that. They can kind of play the role that the movie calls for. Jim Carrey's weird. Like, if everyone else in the movie is being serious, then Jim Carrey's like a fucking circus clown. And if everyone else in the movie is all weird, then Jim Carrey does real well playing the straight guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know too many actors like that. Like, he plays serious roles when everyone else is all bananas.
Well, there's like a whole bunch of movies. Let's see, Liar Liar was pretty good. What's that one where he has a split personality? It was like
Irene, Me,
Myself, and Irene.
Yeah,
yeah.
Is that it? Yeah,
that was okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, that was all right. That was the guys who did What About Mary? Those guys. They had a formula.
They did.
Didn't everything always take place in Maine?
It
was always
maybe.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all those right.
Stephen King. That was it. He was in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yep. Which was kind of like was that Spike Jonze?
I never cared for that one. I think it was Spike Jonze.
People love it.
I know. I thought it was okay.
I thought it was fine. I think it's sad. I don't like sad movies. And I think that's a real sad movie.
Yeah. He's capable of doing lots of different things. He's going to be in the new Sonic movie.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Right. Dr. Robotnik, basically, where he plays Ace Ventura.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. Alrighty then, Sonic.
Yes. He's odd in that way. And in this movie, he's really good. I like him a lot in this movie. And everyone in the movie is kind of bananas. Right?
Because they're not truthful. The only one that's truthful to him is the woman that was trying to free him.
Yes. And he is a true man. I think that's the funny part is he's Truman. He's a true man.
He's an actual real person. Everyone's fake. And it's fucked up like when he goes missing and they're all trying to find him and you see like everyone now being like who they really are. Yeah. And, like, you know how there's like these twins, even though it's like one of them is like remarkably short and the other one is so weird. Yeah. But they like keep saying like, yeah, we'll show up next week. We'll do it's these like two weird guys who just I guess they're twins or whatever. Yeah. And they show up. But then later on, when they're like trying to find him now, those characters are actually, I don't know, they serve really another purpose on the show. And the guy's got now like a thick, like Southern accent. Yeah. Like, we gotta find that Truman. You guys get on the phone and find him. It's like really weird.
Duke boys. It is.
So like you were telling me there's like religion, like you tried. I couldn't read it. I was just like, this seemed like a bunch of horse shit.
Right? Yeah. Well, there is, and I know there's something there. I know. I think this is a valid way of looking at the movie. I don't see it 100% myself, but there's a lot of Christians love this movie. They say the experience of Jim Carrey leaving Seabrook or wherever they are is comparable to a non-believer finally accepting Christ.
But to me, that's the opposite.
Yeah, to me, it's the opposite.
I don't understand how that makes that makes no sense.
Yeah. Well,
like, I would be like, no. I would think, like, this movie would make you, like, an atheist. You would think, you actually would question, like, reality.
Yeah.
You would be like,
it is.
The last thing, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I agree, because, like, that's the part I can't get over, is that, like, okay, saying that Christoph represents God, that's an easy one, right?
Yeah.
And saying that Truman represents, like, man or mankind, that's also an easy one.
Yeah.
And the idea that, like, something with the world isn't right, that you're unfulfilled, that you need to, something is missing from your life, is also an easy one to get, and that's a common theme in Christianity, is that you can live your whole life and you feel unfulfilled. It's because you haven't filled your heart with Christ or whatever. I mean, that's a yeah, I mean, regardless of how you feel about it, that's like...
Yeah, I got you.
That's a thing.
Like Christ then.
Right. But then you shift gears.
Open up, baby.
You shift gears and you're like, well... Christoph in this analogy is a dick. He's like abusing Jim Carrey, right? Like,
well, yeah, of course he's abusing him. I mean, like, okay, so in that, all right. So as they're trying to, as the town's trying to find him, he already found ways to like hide from the cameras.
yes,
He's found different ways. Like one, he makes like a fake body, his
Right,
room
right.
that he escapes in, and it's like a dummy in there.
Yes.
He's already on the high. So then he finally gets on a boat.
oh yeah,
But I thought it was really funny that he had to change into like
a nautical outfit,
outfit, which I thought was really. I didn't think about that when I was in the theater. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I remember watching it and that scene, and I'm just like cracking up because I'm like, why is he wearing like a nautical outfit? Like he also now he's the old fisherman guy from The Simpsons. Yar, that guy.
Right,
you know,
right.
like why is he? He's in a pea coat. He's got the hat, the sweater. It's
yeah.
super
It is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, just from a practical standpoint, when he is walking against the blue wall, at the very end, that black outfit makes him stand out really well. And there's a scene where he's in front of the door.
Dark navy.
Well, he's in front of the door.
It's a dark navy outfit.
And he's talking to Ed Harris in the ceiling or whatever. And then he kind of throws out his arms and he forms a perfect cross. Like the door and Jim Carrey in front of the door with his arms outstretched. It looks like a cross.
I mean, you could say that, like, also if you want to get, well, like, biblical in some ways, that, what's it called? Seagate? What's it called?
Seahaven?
Yeah. Is kind of like the garden.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And now he's being casted out.
Yeah.
Because he's gained knowledge.
Right.
He's aware now that, like, he ate the apple.
He ate the apple, right.
And he's gained knowledge. He can't live in this world anymore. He can't, like, basically Christoph, like, fucks with him with the water rapids, like, making it really dangerous for him, and the audience is, like, watching.
Like a hurricane or something.
Yeah, and then eventually it calms. He stops. Because, it's like, he's not a cruel god or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. And then that's when he talks to him finally. He's on the boat. It calms down, but then... And the way they painted the background, they do such a good job that he doesn't realize. He thinks he still has more horizon to go. The edge of the tip, the spike, whatever they call it,
right?
They're going to end of the boat, hits into the wall, pierces the wall. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Right, pierce the veil. Right,
and then he goes and touches the wall.
That's a great scene.
And he's like, "It's just fake," and he's able to walk on the edge.
Yeah,
almost like he's walking on water.
Right. Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah. Right. Just like the end of Being There.
With what's that movie? What's it? Peter Sellers?
Yeah, Peter Sellers.
Yeah, when he walks on water in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
He walks, and that's when he talks to Christoph. And like Christoph's like almost like saying like, "Hey," and that's where it is like similar to like the Matrix and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like, you can just stay here.
Right. It's not that bad.
Like, did they turn off? Like, were people watching? They were watching.
Yeah, everyone was kind of like.
There's a scene earlier where where there's a technical difficulty.
Right.
And they go to like a screen, and they said that had the most views. Actually, people watching the screen because they want. When's he coming back?
Right.
Which is almost like what Trump would do at the podium.
Yeah.
When he would make people wait for
Yeah.
him to come out for speech. He still does that kind of still. Like State of the Union comes out late.
Right.
And it's all like, it's like yeah, now that people are waiting, like, when are you coming?
Right.
You know, you ever go to like a concert and like the band's a dick and they come out for like an hour and it's like,
right. I hate that.
But it's like almost like they're getting you excited too. It's like so. Kristoff's like, yeah, you could just stay here.
Yeah.
Which is, like I said, it's weird because I think everyone's watching it at this point. I'm like, why? I would think they would not show this part. They would again go back to the screen.
Well, it's a weird part too because, like, look, he can't stay there, right?
No.
Like,
I mean,
now he
in
knows.
theory, but
now he knows. Like, who would watch that? Like,
but
the whole.
If the audience didn't know that any of that played out.
Oh yeah, if they cut the cameras, right?
If they cut the cameras, which I thought was weird because they cut the cameras when he like, because the friend's like, he's not here.
Right,
and
right.
Then they cut the cameras. That's when the friend. That's when he discovers the dummy in his attic or whatever.
Right.
And that's when they cut the cameras. But why would they not cut the cameras when he's talking to Kristoff? It's
that.
a little weird because it's a very, like, it's probably the most fantastical part of the movie.
Well, by then they've gone full symbolic, I think. And I hadn't thought about this way, but I think you're right. I think he is in the Garden of Eden. And that's kind of more the Jurassic Park thing. Like I never understood. What?
I said Jurassic Park was really stupid.
Well, I never understood, like, okay, so I grew up in going to church, Christian church. I went to a private Christian school and everything. And I never got that. Like, why did God create people and put them in the Garden of Eden
it's
if
funny
he
that
knew?
you learn that stuff. And that's why I think it's really hysterical with, like, Jews and Christians. I learned the same shit. I grew up with... In Hebrew school, we had Noah's Ark. We had all that shit. Just once you get to the Christ part, that's when it changes.
Well, the odd thing is, like, Islam is the same thing. Islam's the same up until Muhammad. Like, Islam,
they
Judaism.
Have Noah's Ark?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Islam has Abraham. They're all Abrahamic religions. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. They all are identical. Islam believes in Christ. They just don't... They think, like, the Jewish
Islam
people,
believes in Christ?
They believe he was a real person and a prophet.
They don't worship him like
no.
No. Okay, so they don't. There's a different. I guess.
Right. They have more in common.
Watch how you say believe. Well, they know they believe. Like
believe he was a historical figure. Yes,
he is part of the story.
Right.
They don't believe.
Right. Yeah. I was using that more like.
I got you. It's all the same origins of. Yeah. Same bullshit.
But like I never understood that. Like, look, why did God create all this if he knew like they were just gonna fucking eat the apple and shit? Like what?
Well, I think again, it's like the Bible is just a story, and you're not supposed to take it 100% literally.
Literally,
it's a story with some, it's got some like stuff in there that like little things like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and then they have some ridiculous things that don't age very well.
Don't eat shellfish. Don't even. But let's just say it is let's say everyone agrees it's a story, an analogy, or whatever. Even if it's just like loosely based on reality, like why would God create people and why would he do it for any reason? Like why would you create people? Why would you create people? Like what are people doing? Like what? Yeah. If you're God, like what do you need people for? Like
you should watch the show. Well, if you ever read the comic book Preacher.
Oh yeah.
Do you watch the show?
I watched the first couple seasons. I didn't watch the last season.
You should watch the last season.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
The last season's really good.
Yeah.
And he has a conversation with God. And
why did he create people? Why did he?
It's kind of just he wanted like. I guess we are in his image, and I don't remember in the show. He was a dick.
Well,
it didn't matter. I guess he didn't feel whole, but then humanity didn't give God what he wanted.
But that's the thing. Is
we didn't fulfill whatever God was looking for.
We're good like that.
So then that's the plot. And I don't remember this story in the comic as much. I think this was more for the show.
Yeah.
You see in the background, he starts creating new life. But it's like a monstrosity. It's not like he's just like you see like little hints of it in the background. They don't show it, but it's like he's like, I'm making your replacement right now. But it's like, but we're in his image. It's like it's not really the same. It's like he's trying to make something else. It's kind of interesting. It's like it makes him very human, and obviously he's he in it. But so in this movie, and that's why I don't understand how a religious person would look at this movie and go, oh, this is the acceptance of Christ. To me, it's like, no, you would this movie would make you question everything.
Yeah.
Like you would think like there is no God. You would think everything is fake because it was fake.
It was.
I don't even know how this guy would be able to function in the real world.
Yeah.
And one, he's like the most famous person ever.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, the movie, he opens the door and leaves. I mean, why would the door be so easy to get out? Well, regardless, it doesn't matter. It's
right, but at that point, it's just
very
like
dreamy. With the sky painted on the wall, and like you said, he's in this very dark, navy outfit, not black.
Right, but it is. It's like a weird
then
like
he contrasts with the wall, and he walks up those stairs. The way the stairs, it's like almost like a Dali painting.
Yeah.
And then he exits the door, and he says his line.
Right.
And then the show's over.
Yeah.
But like, it'd be kind of interesting if like, okay, he leaves, and then the studio's like, "Hey man, how about we do a show about you trying to now deal with the real world?"
Yeah.
Because that's what I would, if I was him, I'd be like, okay, and then you
now Truman's getting a real job, and let's see what kind of wacky pratfalls occur.
Yeah.
It is weird. I read.
Jim join a cult.
Well, I read that
he started a cult.
Jim Carrey talked about maybe a sequel to the Truman Show. I think he just did it like haphazardly, like just said.
Well, he says in that, I think we probably said the same thing. He said that in a way we are living in our own Truman Show with social media, where people post stories. Like everyone's like got their own reality. Like there's people I follow. I don't know them. I never met them. I'm never gonna meet them. But I feel like I know them more than I know people I met in my actual life.
No, I agree. Yeah,
and it's bizarre. I don't know them.
Well,
and it's weird because it's not like so it's like it's different from like a TV show or even reality TV, because reality TV and all that, it's very crafted. Yes. But in a way, the way people independently do their own little social media, they're also kind of crafting a world too. Yeah. Like, especially, like, they want to show you, like, look at all the cool shit I do. Right. Look at this awesome food I'm eating. Mm-hmm. Like, all that shit's crafted.
It is true. Like I
went to Arby's today, right.
Well, I follow...
Sat in my car crying, eating Arby's.
I follow some celebrities or politicians
I'm not even talking about...
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about people.
No, I did... It's weird.
Not that they're not people, but...
Well, this is weird. When I first got on Instagram, I was teaching, and I was at University of South Florida in Tampa, and I started an Instagram account. And I did it in Tampa. I was living in Fort Myers, and I did it in Tampa, and someone followed me, like within 15 minutes. And it was someone, I posted a picture of me in Tampa, and then a local Tampa person followed me. And I've remained I followed her on Instagram for as long as I've been on Instagram. And I feel like I know her, right? Like, I've never met her. I've never interacted with her. Yeah. I've never liked a photo of hers or commented on anything. But it was like, oh, here, I have a follower. I'm going to keep that follower. Yeah. And it's weird. It's probably going on like 6 years. I've followed this person. I've watched her kid grow up. I mean, it's like really bizarre.
But that's what he said in the thing. Like, he said that he would want to do a Truman Show, but it would be like everyone's like living now in their own little Truman Show.
Yeah. It's true. That's real true.
It is true. True.
It's true, man. Right?
Like I said, the whole concept of the movie is insane because everyone's job besides acting is to basically they have to make sure they don't slip. Yeah. And that this guy is always living in a reality that we created for him. And every actor has to follow a cue, and which is like super fucked up when you think about it. Because it's like, okay, it's one thing when like the wife's hawking products, or the friend's hawking beer, or whatever product he's selling, or whatever product's being shoved in front of people's audience, as they're watching it. Which is interesting too, because there's no commercials during the show, and they even say that. Right. Which is kind of like how streaming works now. Yes. Like, if you watch the newest season of Stranger Things, even though the show takes place in the 80s, my God, the last season, they go to a mall. Yes. And it is just, you were inundated with advertisements. Yeah. They figured out how to, we can't show, Netflix, like, we're not going to show commercials.
Right.
But they are showing commercials.
Oh, yeah. All the time, right.
The whole show is a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, guy with no teeth is fighting a monster, but in between that, he's going to talk about products that you may like.
Well, I don't know. There's that. There's definitely that. The reason we have CBS streaming and I can watch Picard is that my wife watches that reality TV show Big Brother, and over the summer on CBS streaming you can watch the live feeds. They broadcast that fucking show 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day.
Unlike the Truman Show, these people are aware they're on camera.
Yeah, they're definitely aware.
But they have, like you said, they're vacuous. Where do you go? Vacuous golems?
Yeah, yeah, they are like
soulless golems,
husks of people. They like
cobbled together with mud, and sand,
and ancient curses. They are so bizarre. But like, yeah, look, the producers of these shows, they know what they're doing. They pull in like, hey, let's have 8 hot guys and 8 hot girls, and let's have a nerdy girl, and let's have a beach blonde girl, and let's have a MMA girl, tough girl, and let's have this, and then they put them all together and they pair them up, and they
alcohol usually.
Yeah, they give them some booze, and they invent
go run your life.
Yeah, situations.
But why would you want to watch it for 24 hours? I never understood that, because I remember, like, okay, I understand they have the hourly show.
Yeah.
But then they were like, they introduced this. I remember it was like CBS, Viacom owned Showtime. So if you had, I don't know if they do this anymore, but if you have Showtime.
Oh, yeah.
They had
Big Brother After Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, watching, like, one time, and it was the most boring thing ever. They would show, like, maybe one of them, like, going in the shower, and you could kind of see them, which is like super creepy.
Amanda listens to it like she would listen to a podcast, like she'd be doing dishes and kind of listening to the feed.
But I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, it is weird. I will say.
But then again, like watching the Truman Show, how exciting could that possibly be?
I will say the cool thing about it is, because I don't watch Big Brother that much or the live feeds at all, but like one summer I did, and you would watch the show. And I think we talked about this before. You'd watch the show, and the show would tell a story. But if you watch the feeds, you see what really happened. And then when they broadcast the show, you're like, oh, wait a minute. They're telling this story, but that's only part of what happened. And then, like, occasionally you'll watch a reality TV show, and character will do something out of character inexplicably or whatever. But if you watch the live feeds, it makes perfect sense because you saw why that. And it is kind of like an interesting voyeuristic thing, which I think that's why people would have watched the Truman Show. To some extent, that's why people are on Facebook or Instagram. There's like a voyeuristic element to that, I don't know. It's very weird, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I have no interest in it. I mean, I just think it's like.
Well, do you follow people you don't know?
Yeah, like I said, there's people. I don't really follow a lot of celebrities. I follow a lot. Really, the only people I follow on Twitter, I follow like a lot of political people.
Yep.
A lot of people who were artists.
Sure.
That I follow already on Instagram. I don't follow that many people. Like, the funny thing about Twitter is like Twitter brings, like, I don't follow people, but I'll still see people because other people follow them or they retweet them. So like,
Twitter feeds you things based on your interests.
Right.
Yeah.
Instagram, like, I only follow other artists.
Right.
Or I really don't follow celebrities. I don't care about their days. I don't care about any of the stuff. Like, it's, to me, well, first of all, here's the thing about here's a little thing about celebrity Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
And Facebook. Those are not real accounts.
Oh yeah.
Those are not. They are very managed, very managed, very timed. There's a good chance that the one thing celebrities do is they have burner accounts.
Oh yeah.
So that troll that comes on my page and calls me a libtard.
Yeah.
That might actually be
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, possibly.
Could be.
Or just probably just a disgusting human.
Yeah.
Or More Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Which is bold. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, rat, oh, rat, oh, rat.
Yeah, right?
This is him in that weird Cadillac ad. Or he's talking about those bizarre ads. Just get in there and start talking.
I'll tell you, I like the celebrity accounts I like. Because I don't, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to follow, like, Kim Kardashian.
I follow celebrities when they follow me.
Oh, okay, well, that's fair.
You know why? Because I'm better than them. I was kidding.
Well, I follow... Like
it's like what Rorschach says in the prison.
Yeah, right.
I'm in the prison with you. You're in the prison with me.
I follow the ones that are, I guess you'd call them like B-listers or C-listers. They're fine actors and actresses, but they're not like famous.
I have no interest in following.
Oh, I think that's I love that. Like I think we've talked about this before too. Like the people that used to show up on the Hollywood squares. That would be my ideal follow. Like the people that were like famous, you're not sure why they're famous. They're not even in anything.
Periphery of fame.
Yeah, the periphery of fame. Yeah. That is endlessly fascinating.
They go on what's that Big Brother celebrity? Sunday Mole or whatever.
Right. Like
Stephen Baldwin.
Yes, I think. Look,
all the Baldwins of Alec.
I don't follow the Baldwins, but I remember like I can't pronounce her name, but like the girl who was. Like in the T-Mobile commercials, and then she was in the show Love.
AT&T.
AT&T. Mila.
She was on Love?
Love, the show on Netflix.
She wasn't on Love.
Yeah, she was the girl that the guy was with originally in the first few episodes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She has a weird name. Yes. She was supposed to play Squirrel Girl.
Yes, right.
On a New Warriors show, and it's kind of funny. I saw...
Oh yeah. No, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I follow.
Oh yeah.
I follow her because it's like that's like a real account. Like that's like a lot of them.
Is it real?
Well, I mean, who knows?
Okay, so they were supposed to be. She was supposed to play Squirrel Girl.
Yes.
And Marvel Legends is a toy line.
Okay.
From Hasbro, they release them. They're like really well done figures.
Right.
They're like 6 inches, and they come out. They're $20 a pop, or like 40, depending on whatever. And one of them was they released a Squirrel Girl figure.
Nice.
I buy very few of them. I'm not getting that one.
Okay.
Sorry, Squirrel Girl. But I was like looking at the figure and I'm like, holy shit, this looks more like her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That they like, and I'm sure if I really want to take a look into it,
right?
Because they have like, it's weird on Marvel Legends. They have like their more comic book looking figures, and then they have the ones that are more modeled off of. The movies.
Yes, okay.
And there's a significant difference. More like Chris Hemsworth's as opposed to the Thor that looks more like from the comic.
Right.
They don't have to have Chris Hemsworth one has more realistic proportions.
Sure.
This Squirrel Girl looked more like Von Trump, whatever her name is. I forgot. She has a weird name. And it's possible that toy is based on her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I see those
the Truman Show
accounts as like they're...
So you're just creeping on her account, basically?
Well, I use her as an example. But there's plenty of them. Like, I'm drawing a blank now that I'm being forced to think about them, like, off the top of my head. But the people that are on the periphery of working actors that are making good money in Hollywood doing... That's their job.
They're working, but they're not, like, Kevin Hart.
Exactly. They're not going to be, like, opposite of Tom Cruise in the next Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, these are just people that when they... That eventually
show on a TV show, that you watch, or they get a show, or
right. So
I'm sure this woman that we're not getting her name right, probably appreciates the fact that we're making her out to be this middling celebrity. When in her mind, she's like, it was supposed to be Squirrel Girl,
right?
Those fuckers made that toy based on my likeness, and I'm not getting paid for it, because the show never happened, it never got picked up.
Well, I think those accounts are fascinating, and there are some. And I guess that is kind of like a Truman Show like thing because, like, I follow these people. They've kind of I've like I don't want to say like they've entertained me in that because that sounds like terrible, but like they've produced this content over a long period of time, and I've kind of consumed it, and I feel weird when they're gone.
I had this like thing because I do lots of social media, and I had like, this guy tell me like one time like you need to like manage your account better, or you need to like manage how you do things better.
Yeah.
And I would be like, fuck you. Like,
right.
I'm doing fine. But I knew what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is me. I'm not a celebrity. I don't have a fucking PR person.
Right.
I don't have like I'm just putting things. could have filtered it a little better. I don't know.
Right.
But I don't want to live my life like that.
Yeah.
You know? This social media is super bizarre, and that's why, like, I don't think the movie Truman Show works today.
Right.
It's a great movie to watch. It's an interesting concept, but it doesn't work today.
No. You would, I mean, like, it would be a radically different movie.
The whole, like, you know, your reality, that's why I said it's almost like the Matrix in a way, where you live your whole life, and then someone comes up to you and basically says, like, you know, this is not your life. You can take blue pill, the red pill, or you know, and then, you know, Truman, who's being told, like, never leave town, and then one day, and he finally gets the urge because he starts saying things are not right, and he has memories of this woman who's, like, kind of like his Morpheus, the woman.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
Woman is his Eve giving him the apple.
Yeah.
But just took him many years to force him to realize that he was, like, oh yeah. Now he has the knowledge. It just took a really long time for him to get there.
Right.
It's like his eyes had to be open. It's like They Live too. It's like the glass.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's a great movie in that aspect.
Yes.
I think it's still, you can still watch and enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
It is timeless in that aspect.
Right.
It's just like, you know, that's what I found interesting when Jim Carrey talked about, like, the movie Today. Like, they could never make a sequel to it today. It would make no sense.
No.
Because
it's a different world.
Well, I mean, and it would be so abstract to make a movie based on that. Like, how would you even, like, get a story in there? I don't know.
It is weird. I love it because it's just a fun movie. You can watch it and not think about it, and it's a fine movie. Right? Like, it's a...
Well, I mean, you think about it.
Yeah, but, like, it could be like a summer afternoon movie you watch and then think about it as you're watching it and then quickly forget it. You know, or it could be the movie that kind of keeps you up at night and you wonder about, like... I
wonder if your life is...
Well, you wonder, you know, you're like...
That light did fall from the sky.
I don't know. I mean, like, look...
My dad did come back 20 years later.
Yeah.
After I thought he died.
Oh, really? But, like, you wonder, like, how many choices do we have? What is... Are we imagining, like, free will or do we really have free will?
Well, that's the thing, too. It's like, you know, the joke is, too, how he's being hawked to ads. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is people are advertising each other all the time. One of the biggest jokes in the Bible is don't covet your neighbor's goods.
Right.
It's one of the silliest rules. Our whole economy is based...
Oh, yeah.
The whole entire economy is based on coveting our neighbor's goods.
I covet the hell out of stuff, yeah.
I mean, like, without that, there would be nothing.
Right.
At least on a...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you want clothes because that person has clothes. This attractive person has this.
Yes.
This person you look up to has it. Or, you know, that person you aspire to be has that. You know?
Right.
It's a farce that even is a rule that anyone, like...
Yeah.
I mean, how could you even tell people that with a straight face on? Like, don't cover thy neighbor's goods. Right. And while you're at it, take a look at this good that I'm holding.
Right, exactly.
Oh, wow, look at that watch you're wearing. Oh,
is that my neighbor's ass? I was told not to covet that. What is this?
What?
Yeah.
He's being, like, hawked products, but I guess in his reality, he's just like... But then, I guess, as he's starting to realize things, when now he's fighting with his wife,
right,
and his wife stops in the middle of the fight
to
advertise a utensil, he's like, what the fuck? That's not normal. Like, people don't do that.
Right. And it's weird because, like, as far as he knows, it is normal because that's really all he's ever known.
Well, no, but I mean, like, he's now having a fight with his wife that he never had before.
And he knows...
And she is not responding right, and now she's hawking a product. That's what he's starting to realize. What the fuck is this? This is not normal.
Yeah.
Because the plastic life he was living, where they probably never fought, because she's an actress.
Right.
And as long as he keeps, you know, she keeps feeding lines and keeps telling him.
Yeah, keeps the artifice up.
And as long as he's fine with it, they're fine. They have this picture-perfect marriage, and then you realize it's not.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff I want to talk about the movie, but, like, I just don't understand how you could think this movie would make you go, yes, now I believe in religion. Like, to me, this is like almost like and this movie would make you into like a non-believer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't get it. I see the vague contours of it, but every time I try
there's religious imagery in the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
I won't deny that. But that doesn't make the movie...
Well, maybe it's like, look, God created... And again, I'm not arguing this from my own perspective. I'm just saying, like, God created mankind and put them in this paradise. It's certainly a paradisical...
Well, it's exactly
right.
what we think, it is the perfect functioning town. It's like, what was that Twilight Zone episode where the guy goes, Willoughby.
Oh, yeah.
Next stop, Willoughby.
Right. Well, it's like God creates man, puts him in this perfect location, and then man is like, this isn't good enough, I want out. And God's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is fine, just don't eat the apple. And man is like, I'm going to eat the apple. I got to eat this apple.
Right.
And then God's like, okay, you ate the apple, you're out of here. But they're still kind of cool with each other. Like Christoph in the movie didn't like throw a lightning bolt.
Well, legally, can he?
No, but like let's say you take it as a pure allegory at that time.
Yeah.
He didn't like smite him or anything.
Well, he was challenging him.
Yeah, he was. But then
he almost killed him. Actually,
right.
He could have killed him right there.
But then man's like, I gotta eat this apple, and God's like, okay, well, you can't stay here, but good luck, and man's like, alrighty then, He does it with his ass cheeks.
Ask you a question.
and then that's it. And
let me tell you something.
I see that as like a real plausible religious take on this.
Right.
That makes sense.
But I don't know how this movie would
reinforce
make
you right.
now like, now I need to...
You should be like...
Be into Jesus. And,
that's a real dick move to put me in a place you knew I couldn't
right. If anything,
with.
I would want the opposite of everything.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like I said, I recognize the imagery because it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious.
It's undeniable, yeah.
But I don't understand. Like, to me, this movie would make you a non-believer because your whole reality is just, like, thrown out,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure, like you said, everybody can find a message they want.
I think that's part of the greatness of it is that, like, you can find something in here that makes sense given your own perspective.
It's like how, like, Republicans watch Star Wars and not realize that they're not the Empire.
Yes.
But then again, they embrace it now.
Yes,
they probably love it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So, should people watch this movie?
Yeah, of course.
I think definitely so.
I wouldn't be talking about that. I want to watch it.
Yeah, all the performances are pretty solid. Jim Carrey, even if you don't like Jim Carrey normally, he's real good at
great.
this.
I think what I like about this movie is that he is at his most normal in this movie. Like, and it's almost like I'm wondering, like, because. Okay, so there's two movies. This movie's sandwiched between two movies. One of them's Cable Guy.
Yep.
And the other one's Man on the Moon, the Andy Kaufman movie.
Oh,
did you ever see that
about
documentary that they released about his antics on the set?
Yes.
Where he, like, his head was so far up his ass.
Yeah.
And he wanted to become Andy Kaufman.
Right.
And he would act like Andy Kaufman.
I forgot about that,
and he would do all kinds of weird shit. And even, like, MTV Music where he came out as this weird character.
Yeah, as the Tony...
No, it wasn't. It was some other thing. But it was, like, an Andy Kaufman-esque character.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
it was
right.
really bizarre. And, like...
Who was the guy Andy Kaufman used to pretend to be?
It was Tony Hill or something.
Something like that, yeah. Whatever.
Piece of shit lounge singer that would just like curse and say.
Yeah.
But it would be him and his friend that would trade off, so you never knew if...
that was awesome.
And the whole rumor was like, the joke was everyone always says like, oh, this Andy Kaufman's not dead. Like, let's say like...
He's really this dude, yeah.
He's been, Ann Coulter all these years.
Yeah.
Like, no, he unfortunately died of cancer. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But the movie Man on the Moon, like, he just like got so into it.
Deep
the movie's
into
like,
it,
it's okay. It's
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It was clearly like his attempt at probably trying to get an Oscar and make this like.
Yeah.
But it was like so egocentric and you read these stories like he was like insane. There's a documentary on like Netflix, you can find it, and he reflects on it. It's like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And he realizes what it.
Dick he was.
Yeah, like people like didn't want to be on the set. They were like, he's insane. He felt like he had to become Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
He couldn't like He couldn't just play... like, any actor could have just been like, all right, I'm going to be Andy Kaufman.
Right, yeah.
He probably would have pretty much gave almost the same performance he gave.
Yeah.
But he felt like he needed... It's like some actors, they feel like they need to do that. Like
that Stanislavski method.
What was it? Joker?
Yeah, Jared Leto. He'd, like, mail people condoms and shit.
Gave, like, Will Smith, like, a dead bird or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, the joke was in the end that his character was cut to, like, just 10-minute vignette.
Right. It was interstitial.
He's, like, hardly in the movie.
He's not... Yeah, okay, yeah.
But there's some actors that feel need. But then he does this movie called Cable Guy. It came out, like, in 95.
Was that with Matthew Broderick? Was that
yeah,
right.
And it's a Ben Stiller movie.
Yeah, it's very dark.
It's dark, but it wasn't... It was a comedy, but it was dark. The first half is, like... It was weird, because he does, like, you know... He does, obviously, Ace Ventura, and then he does The Mask.
Well, he did Liar Liar right before
Truman Show.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Liar Liar was like...
it was a comedy.
Comedy, yeah. And he was almost, even though it's like... He wasn't like Ace Ventura, where it's like a ridiculous cartoon. But, you know, he does that, but then he does Batman Forever. He's the Riddler. It's just Jim Carrey. Yeah. And then... then he does Cable Guy, and I remember, like I said, and I think we talked about this in the podcast. I remember going to the theater, seeing that movie, and everyone's just like, because everyone's just laughing at everything he does.
Yeah.
It was bizarre, and I was like, it's not even that funny.
Right.
And then the audience, like, the movie just gets like really weird and dark towards the end, and kind of sad, and like the character's like he's like a stalker, and it's like he's like lived like a sad life, and it's like the audience didn't know how to react to this movie. No. They were just like, it's like everyone's like ha ha ha, like everyone's like, it was like I felt like I was in the Truman Show watching this movie, and everyone's laughing at every single thing he does. But then, like, around the halfway point, the audience had no idea what to do with this movie.
No, it came out of left field.
They couldn't. The laughing just got less, and less, and like Ben Stiller was like trying to make like a big point with the movie.
Right.
Like, there was like a Menendez brother thing going on.
Yeah. I remember that.
Media, but it's an interesting movie because it kind of leads into like. It's almost Truman Show-esque in that one too, because like you find out like the guy was just like left in front of the TV. His parents didn't take care of him. And, like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's not worth talking about. I didn't enjoy it. It was fun. But it was just an interesting movie for Jim Carrey to be in because the audience was not trained to see him in a role like that, and the studio or the people who made the movie, like. Okay, we want to make this dark movie, but we got this comedy guy who's making millions. We're paying this guy millions. Oh, he was in Dumb and Dumber, too.
Yeah.
That movie was great. I always thought, what I love about that movie was that, what's his face, I thought was actually better than him in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he got, like, Jeff Daniels.
Yes.
I think the joke was, and this is not even, like, Jim Carrey, I think, got, like, $7 million or something at the time to be in Dumb and Dumber. And I think Jeff Daniels got, like, $200,000.
Oh, jeez.
And he puts on the same amount of energy.
Yeah.
And if anything, he's got some of the funnier scenes in the movie. And I think it's hysterical that, like, if I was Jeff Daniels, I'd be like, fuck
this.
I mean, I'm sure he's just happy to work.
Oh, sure.
But, like, still, it's like, I just found it amazing. I'm like watching this movie and I'm like, okay, I get it. Jim Carrey's the comedian.
He's the
star. But my God, Jeff Daniels is like...
It's very
got
good.
Some of the fucking funniest scenes in this movie.
That's funny, yeah.
He like steals his character, like the scene when he takes a shit. It's, like, it's so gross, but it's like one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. It's just I'm having explosive diarrhea. But like, so Truman Show, like you're away from Austin. I'm saying Austin Powers, but whatever. Pet Detective.
Yeah.
And you got Jim Carrey now, and it's like I remember they were like. There was this like big push to try to get him in dramatic roles. Yeah, well, I think this one was pretty successful at doing it.
It was. I read. It was a critical and commercial success. It was generally well received. Made a lot of money.
But I mean, like even like when I remember watching it, I wasn't like, okay, when's he gonna like talk with his
right? No, it worked well.
If anything, like his little tagline was very Jim Carrey.
Yes,
like when he would like. Lean back and be like, eh.
Right. And there were a few scenes where I was like, I'll bet you he improvised here. Or he seemed maybe a little manic or something. And I'm like, that seems kind of artificial and maybe not how this character would act. But all in all, great movie. I recommend watching it. I mean, it's.
Do you remember when he dated Jenny McCarthy? And he became like an anti-vaxxer?
Right, briefly.
He was like big on that.
Yeah. That's bizarre. Now he's like a real big anti-Trump artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, look, it's hard to the right place.
Hey, Jim, you stay in your lane, okay? Let us little artists who don't have pet detective clout.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when Madonna wants to make a kid's book.
Right.
You just see like authors just like, what about me?
Yeah. She produces like some middle of the road pedestrian effort, and it goes straight to the top of the charts
because it's Madonna.
Yeah,
it's like Madonna's. You put her name on like a tomato.
Right.
It's like, oh my god, it's the best. It's gonna sell. It doesn't matter. It's just tomato. It's gonna sell. I know. I mean, well, Jim Carrey does have some interesting art.
Oh yeah, he's fine.
I recommend looking into it.
It's definitely interesting. Yeah.
And he's an interesting guy.
He is.
But the anti-vaxxer thing, I forgot about that, and
right.
I always pictured too. I'm like, can you imagine what an obnoxious couple Jim Carrey and Jenny McCarthy must have been to be around them?
Yeah.
My God,
it must have been insufferable.
just farting jokes and like just like all shtick.
Yeah,
it never ends. It's like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
just stop it already.
Right.
Well, now that we're here, now we got you. Let's talk about how you shouldn't vaccinate your children.
Right. Fuck them. Oh. All right.
Well, Jim Carrey, I'm okay.
Yeah, he's fine. All right. Well, that's.
And what's her face is on The Masked Singer now.
Yeah.
So. She's just responsible for getting people not to vaccinate their children. Yeah. Well, let's reward her with a great reality show.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's Truman Show.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, it's great. Got a little off track. All right, well, what do you want to talk about next, Joseph?
I don't know. We had talked a little bit about Blade Runner. That had come up. Yep. Yeah. Well, I had a good one the other day, and I am drawing a blank on it now. Blade Runner.
Once Bitten, starring Jim Carrey?
I would not mind doing that.
I don't think we can do a whole episode.
We did. What did we say? We did something where we said we'd only talk about it for 10 minutes, and then that'd be that. Tremors. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good. Blip.
Episode. Let's see.
Sandworms. They fight them.
You know what I saw is coming out of local theaters, a revival of that Nicolas Cage, David Lynch movie, Wild at Heart.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll look around.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I don't know.
I feel like we've had some interesting movies this year.
Yeah.
In season 2. YSGOAT season 2.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, obviously we talk about Mandalorian because that was mandatory.
Yes.
Mandatory.
Right.
Mandalorian. But what did we talk? We talked about.
We did Red Dawn. Miracle Mile. Blue Velvet.
Falling Down.
Yep. And then this one, yeah.
And did we talk about something else?
Well, we did
Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah, Ferris Bueller. Right.
What was the other one?
We did an impeachment episode.
We just I'm sorry, I apologize if you listen to this. You're like, I just want to talk about Truman Show. And talk about fucking Amy Klobuchar's and
Klobuchar. They have been real interesting ones.
So we're just gonna have to keep going in that.
Yeah.
And hey guys, send us your suggestions.
Absolutely.
Too.
Right.
Make sure they're good though, because we only like good suggestions.
Right. We've had some. Yeah. All right. So
no, I'm not gonna watch Monster High.
Right.
We're not gonna review that.
No.
Or talk about it. We don't really review movies. Like, I guess
really.
Do we fall into movie reviews?
Well, we categorized ourselves as several things. Because you get to pick like your 3 categories. So I think we're in like politics.
Yep.
And then we're in film reviews.
Yep.
And I forget the third one. It might just be film, like a broad one.
Yeah.
And like film would be a level 1 heading, and like film reviews would be a level 2. We always chart in film reviews.
Well, my goal is to eventually obtain a catchphrase.
Yeah. Right.
And a shtick. Mm-hmm. And end up being like the next Gene Shalit.
Yeah.
That's my end game. What do you plan on making?
I like
out
the
of this
catchphrase.
podcast?
I like the catchphrase.
Yeah, we need a catchphrase though.
Yeah, I think
goating.
Right.
Goat.
It has to be goat related.
Goat related. Yep.
Like I would say, like if like
this
we would
movie
say,
was bad.
right? Yeah, not bad.
And the movie was good.
Right. So catchphrase. I'd still like to get a Czech beer sponsorship.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. I wouldn't mind doing.
Talk about Burger King. We should get get some of that.
Sweet Impossible Whopper.
Yeah.
We've talked a little about doing maybe like a live episode. We've come close
I
to doing
won't
live.
dare do a live episode because we're going to edit about half this episode.
That's true.
Because
right.
Joseph went on a weird rant about Jews again. I'm not a fan of that.
right. Okay, so that was.
Yeah, I have some issues with that.
I had some leftover material from my Proud Boys podcast that I wanted to try out here.
We forgot to bring up.
Oh yeah.
So if you're listening to this in chronological YSGOAT order,
right.
Speaking of
yes.
Nazis,
speaking of,
we talked about falling down. Not to
yes.
say he was a Nazi, but we realized this after Joseph found something on Reddit or something where basically it showed that like Gavin McInnes from the Proud Boys.
Yep.
Cosplays as defense for falling down.
Yeah.
I wish we knew that before we talked about falling
down.
That
would have been hilarious.
Definitely would have brought that up.
Yes.
And I was telling Joseph before the podcast, because we were going to talk about this, I said that defense would hate Gavin McInnes. Like, he'd probably like Rush Limbaugh.
I think so,
because Rush Limbaugh is like, whatever you want to say about him, he's just like, he seems authentic regardless of whatever you may want to think about him. That he's a boil on a boar's ass.
Yes.
But he's an authentic boil on a boar's ass. While Gavin McInnes is a fop.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's a fake, dandy.
He's a dandy
a dilettante.
Defense would see him like that.
Yeah.
He'd be like, no.
Right.
And he sees his little stupid wax mustache.
Yeah, good like, lord.
He'd be like, he'd probably say something awful. But he wouldn't believe what... So it's just interesting this guy is LARPing as the guy from Falling Down.
yeah,
which
for sure.
Definitely gives the movie Falling Down a bad message.
It does.
So, that was a little ad. I wanted to bring
added bonus.
Little added bonus. All right, well, Truman Show. Watch it. It's an awesome movie.
It's great.
And you'll question your reality. You'll go to work next day, and when someone comes up to you and starts talking about Dunkin' Donuts or something, you'll be like, what?
Right.
Wait, are you advertising to me? You'll go insane.
Yeah, just punch him in the mouth and run for the horizon. You know?
Run. Take a boat out to the water and hope it hits into a wall.
Yeah.
So you can walk up those Dolly-esque stairs into
whatever,
the next world. Don't do any of that. We're kidding.
No. All right.
Well, I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that.
Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That. Please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done already, please follow us on Instagram, YSGOAT, Facebook, YSGOAT, and Twitter, YSGOAT. Thank you, and have a great day.